at 10 inches.
All right, let's play Who Wants to Be a Millionaire? Puff Daddy, sitting in the chair. I'll call you Puffy.
Yo, man, yo.
Are you ready?
Yeah.
Here's your $100 question. Finish this nursery rhyme.
All right.
Hickory dickory blank. Is it A, Dock, B, Pier, C, Marina, or D, Inlet?
Whoa, man. Is this a $100 question right here?
You're kidding me, right?
This is $100.
For $100.
This ain't the $1 million question?
Well, this is the first one.
Man.
It's only for $100.
Is this a black thing?
Would you like to use a lifeline?
Yeah, all right. What do I got?
Well, we have the Ask the Audience, the 50-50, and the Phone a Friend.
Ask the audience. Nah, too many white people in here. 50-50 ain't gonna help me. Oh, you know what? I'm gonna phone a friend.
Gonna phone a friend on the $100 question, finishing the nursery rhyme.
Yeah.
All right, who are we gonna call, Puppy?
Oh, my boy, Old Dirty Bastard.
Old Dirty Bastard.
Yeah, Dirty we call him.
Our friends from AT&T will get Old Dirty on the line, and hopefully he can help you.
Yo.
Old Dirty.
Yeah, man.
Regis Philbin from Who Wants to Be a Millionaire. How are you?
Aight.
Got your friend here, Puff Daddy.
Yo, Dirty, what's up?
What's up?
What's up?
What's up?
What's up?
What's up?
All right.
What's up, E?
Old Dirty, Puff Daddy's in a little bit of trouble here on the $100 question.
Ain't the first time, man.
First question, and the next voice you hear will be his. He'll come on the line. He'll ask you the question. He'll give you 4 possible choices. Are you set?
Hey, man.
Next voice you hear will be his, and 30 seconds begins now.
What's up? Yo, Dirty, finish this off for me, all right?
Hey, man.
Hickory dickory blank. Is it A, Doc, B, Pia, C, Marino, or D, Inlet?
Oh.
Come on, man, I don't got much time.
Man, I know this, man. I know it. I see it's Pia.
Pia, you sure?
About 30, man.
This is a lot of money, man.
About 30.
All right, man, thank you very much.
Hey, man.
Time's up. Old Dirty said Pia. You still have 2 lifelines left. We are on the $100 question.
You know what, Regis?
Want to poll the audience?
No, I'd like to add a lifeline.
Actually, no, there's only 3 lifelines. You've used 1, you have 2 left.
No. I get another lifeline. It's a brand new one to the game.
And what is that, Puffy?
It's called Shoot the Host.
Puffy, you can ask the audience.
I call it Shoot the Host.
Puffy, use the 50-50.
What's the answer?
Puffy, it's Doc. It's A. It's Doc.
My final answer's Doc.
It's Doc. And it's a good one. You got $100.
Run, you white boy, run!
All right, I like that. Let's play that all day. What do you say? Huh? Sounds like a plan to me.
Good stuff.
So anyway, let's see, I guess Stern was on live today. We'd know that because otherwise he'd have bailed out an hour earlier, which next week, they got Best of Stern on all next week. Best of Sterno. So what that means for us is a real pain in the old
Rectum.
ass.
Long shows.
Oh, brother. And especially Thursday and Friday because I already made a deal with George, unbeknownst to me, about this best of crap with Stern next week, which they sprung on us this morning. And then the last 2 weeks in December, holy moly. You gotta be schmitting me, man.
Oh, we'll play those bits.
What bits? The ones we can't play anymore?
Right.
How about Condoleezza? Let's play that. And you gotta kiss him, good morning. What about that?
Sounds good to me.
Yeah, let's do that. In fact, we get probably a 90 share on Thursday. Now, that's a pain in the ass, this Stern bailing out all next week, best of at 10 o'clock. What are we going to do with that? And Thursday and Friday, no George, which I agreed to work even on Thanksgiving Day, but everybody agrees that's a bad idea, right?
Yeah, pretty much.
So what are we going to do then?
Oh, we'll just have to go with the flow.
That sounds like a real rocket science kind of solution to our problem. We'll just go with the flow, okay? And maybe we'll go with the flow and we'll stick on Mo. There you go. What do you say to that?
All right.
Rhymes with Mo. I think it's called
No.
Well, we'll work on that. Also got to work on that website, but we got many issues on that, baby. Oh, I don't want to get Eric all whipped up into one of his frenzies, but you got to redesign that thing, man. because that ain't working out. I mean, it's a beautiful thing, and we got all kinds of neat stuff on there. Like we got Dick Cheney's swollen package, and the big article that goes along with it. What'd I do with that? I thought I printed that thing out. Where the hell is it? Well, we'll find it. At any rate, you got Dick Cheney's package. You got Jim Rome getting thrown on his ass by Betsy Everett.
Good stuff.
And we got nothing about Scott and Lacey Peterson, though, thank God. Oh! So if you're like, the good news about Colin Powell resigning, beside the fact he's a total sellout and an Uncle Tom, other than that, is the fact that at least it takes Scott and Lacey Peterson off the front pages and the headlines in freaking CNN and MSNBC. You talk about a feeding frenzy. If anybody needed any proof of what Tammy Faye's been telling you for years.
The media is sick and needs help badly.
Holy crap. I mean, just nonstop. We had Scott and Lacey Peterson up the ass all weekend. Didn't you?
No.
Just never ending on and and here's our panel. Here's Nancy Grace, and here's Amazing Grace, and let's Mark Grace, you know. Holy crap. Now, the reason I just played that bit there to start, number one, that guy wanted to hear it last week, but that has nothing to do with why I played it, because screw him. But the reason I played it is because our good close friend...
About 30, man.
Old Dirty rhymes with about 30. He died. And they're still trying to figure out why, you know? Yeah.
How can that be?
Couldn't be no drugs, could it? Well, the rap artist ODB, Old Dirty Bastard. Old Dirty rhymes with...
About 30, man.
Whose utterly unique rhymes, wild lifestyle, and incessant legal troubles made him one of the most vivid characters in hip-hop. Collapsed and died inside a recording studio Saturday. He was,
about 30, man.
35, which ain't too far from...
About 30, man.
Old Dirty had complained of chest pains before collapsing at the Manhattan studio, was dead by the time paramedics arrived, said Gabe Tesoriero, a spokesman for the ODB record label, Rockefeller. Oh, I like that. That's ROC-A-FELLA, Rockefeller. Cause of death was not immediately clear, but Old Dirty had recently finished a prison sentence for drug possession and escaping a rehab clinic. He would have turned 36 today. Oh, let's hear it. What do you say? In honor of Old Dirty, would have been 36 today if he'd have just made it one more day. Well, let's see, what day? Oh, he got Saturday. Just 2 more days till 36 and he couldn't make it. Damn it. I hate that. ODB, also known as Old Dirty Bastard, Dirt McGirt, Big Baby Jesus, or his legal name of Russell Jones, was the founding member of the seminal rap group, the Wu-Tang Clan, in the early 1990s. The Wu-Tang Clan.
Wu-Tang?
I beg your pardon?
Wu-Tang. You gotta say it like that. You gotta say it properly.
Well, don't be saying no Poo-Tang. With his unorthodox delivery, alternately slurred, hyper-nonsensical, Old Dirty stood out even in the 9-man clan, which featured such future stars as Method Man, RZA, and Ghostface Killah. Oh, he's my favorite, that Ghostface Killah. He'd be the best.
That'd be RZA, by the way.
Oh, RZA is RZA?
Yes.
Oh, that's right, RZA Jizza.
That's right, my Nizza.
Nizza? He's a real pizza. The Wu-Tang blueprint was for each member to pursue solo projects, and Old Dirties were among the best. He released hit singles such as Shimmy Shimmy Ya and Got Your Money, and appeared on remixes with artists like Big Boob Mariah Carey. We got that one big one in the middle of her chest.
Mm-hmm.
There's nobody like him in the game. RZA told the AP, see, I never would have known that. In an April interview, when asked if Old Dirty could resume his career after prison, he's got a lot of problems he's got to iron out, but of course, as far as a one-of-a-kind person, one-of-a-kind artist, he's one of a generation, one of a lifetime, he's a very rare commodity, and now, of course, he's dead. But as his fame increased, so did his erratic behavior, and fans came to expect the unexpected from Old Dirty. Every time he'd say...
About 30, man.
They were just about peeing their pants when he'd say that. When MTV News followed him around at the height of his popularity, took camera crew and several of his kids, he was said to have more than a dozen by numerous mothers, to the welfare office in a limousine to get an allotment of food stamps. Oh, no. Man, he was sure a role model, wasn't he?
Oh, yeah.
To get an allotment of food stamps. And the best part is he got them. In February 1998, he crashed the stage at the Grammy Awards and hijacked the microphone from singer Sean Colvin as she accepted an award, apparently upset over losing the Best Rap album to P. Diddy, who was still back then known as Puff Daddy. Then, of course, everybody knows now as P. Diddy and is a real faggot. He complained that he spent a lot of money for new clothes because he thought he was going to win. The rapper later apologized. Over the years, he was wounded in the shootings and arrested on a veritable laundry list of charges, including menacing security officers, illegally possessing body armor, driving with a suspended license, shoplifting, and threatening a former girlfriend. In 2000, after escaping a court-ordered stint in a California rehab center, authorities searched him for a month. He was finally arrested in Philadelphia 3 days after performing a New York City concert with his Wu-Tang clique. He was sentenced in 2001 to 2 to 4 years for drug possession, plus 2 concurrent years for escaping from a clinic. He was released in 2003, immediately signed with Rockefeller. He heralded his return with a news conference alongside Mariah Carey. Pop fans may know him best for his memorable cameo on her hit Fantasy, featuring rhymes like "Me and Mariah go back like babies with pacifiers." You like that rhyme?
That was great.
Yeah, me and Mariah go back like babies with pacifiers. Cesariero said ODB had been working on his comeback album for more than a year, was almost finished. Russell inspired all of us with his spirit, wit, and tremendous heart, Rockefeller founder Damon Dash said in a statement. The world has lost a great talent, but we mourn the loss of our friend. His mother, Cherry Jones. Remember Cherry Jones?
Oh, yeah.
No, you don't. Said she received the news of her son's death in a phone call, which she called every mother's worst dream. To the public, he was known as Old Dirty Bastard, but to me, he was known as Rusty. The kindest, most generous soul on earth, her statement said. Russell was more than a rapper. He was a loving father, brother, uncle, and most of all, son. He's dead. He's dead as a doornail, Old Dirty. Maybe they'll bury him under the old dock or the pier or one of them things. Maybe you can sit on the dock of the bay with Otis Redding, huh? They can reminisce about old times. What do you say? Here's the results from our world famous. Now, let me just say this, but don't let me forget about the website, because that's important stuff today.
Okay, don't forget
when
about that.
When you finish looking at Dick Cheney's package and the accompanying article that goes with it, which I forgot to print out, which I don't have time to waste with that. We got too many important jingles to play. How about that? You see, it's one thing for that mysterious voice that was in there this morning, the unmentionable one.
I'm sorry.
About Stern being on vacation next week, so they got best of all week, and then the last 2 weeks in December. Well, that's fine. And now what? Now what do we do? See what I'm saying? In other words, just telling us that Stern's going to be on tape, and so they're done at about 10 all next week. Now what?
We just have to make the adjustment.
Oh, I see. Well, adjust this. As Dick Cheney would say in that picture, adjust this, white man. It's getting pretty ponderous, this crap. By the way, look for the QM van right now at the McDonald's. Whatever you do, don't go in there and eat, but go look for the van. Located on the corner of 67th Avenue and Palmetto. Stop by to RSVP for a VIP. What does that mean? RSVP for a VIP meet and greet and eat, and it'll be neat with NASCAR driver Dale Jarrett, who's a real redneck. You can also RSVP at WQM.com. We're not promoting QM.com.
Okay.
Why did you put that on there?
Because you can
Jackass.
do it there.
You spick. Why did you put that on there? Yeah, I'm crossing that out. Oh, plus you can also pick up movie passes to watch National Treasure tonight at the Miami Lakes 17 movie theater. So it would behoove you to go to the QM van right now at the McDonald's in the parking lot, I'm sure, probably shoveling down Big Macs.
I'm sure he is.
At the corner of 67th Avenue, Palmetto. And if you want your Dale Jarrett passes, just stick your finger deep in your nose. They'll know. They'll get the sign. That's in code, you know? When you stick your finger deep in there and start rolling it around. Then you pull one out and start rolling that around on the edge of your nose. Okay, here's the poll we took last Friday. The radio, TV, or movie celebrity you hate the most. A lot of hate. Lots of hate. Although we, quite frankly, didn't have that big of a 2,750 votes. We can do that on a weekday, you know?
Yeah.
Not that great for the weekend. Maybe they stored their hate away for the holidays. Because, you know, South Florida, we just hate the holidays.
Yes.
Rush Limbaugh, 922, the most hated of them all. Boy, I mean, he's got it hands down his pants. Pop a couple more, Rush. Ann Coulter is like almost 700 votes behind, 272. Is that winning handily or what? Huh? Even Secretariat would be embarrassed. Ann Coulter a distant second, 272 for that bitch. Dr. Phil, 214. He's slipping. Out of sight, out of mind. Nobody watches him anyway. Him and Nancy Grace, same person. He's Nancy Grace with a mustache. Bill O'Reilly, 199. Hated, reviled. Sean Hannity, 181. OJ's got 155. It's only on there because of them bad movies he made years ago.
I thought he would do a little better than that.
Now he's compared to Rush. Are you kidding me? See, the people in our audience who are really still foaming at the mouth about another stolen election, about all this Bush business, they're really disgusted at the hypocrisy of these people. So Rush, of course, zooming to the top. OJ, we knew he was a slimeball. Rosie O'Donnell, 116. Ricky Ticky Sanchez, 75. He's on CNN all the time now. He's just all over the place. Him and Scott Peterson will be doing a two-man pretty soon. They'll be doing each other. Paris Hilton with that skinny nose, 63. She is skank. If you look up the definition of skank, her picture's right there next to it. Bob Novak, 52. He's probably going to be on Crossfire pretty soon. Miss Kamal's got 49. P. Diddy, 47. Didn't we just talk about him?
Yeah.
Oprah, 36. Mo Howard David, see, talk about people sliding. Only 31. He's fallen. And look at Castronova. He's got...
About 30, man.
I got a fax about him a little bit. Carrot Top, 29. Dan LeBaster, 29. Arnold, 26. J-Lo, 23. Will Smith, 21. Jim Rome, who gets pushed on his ass by Betsy Everett in that picture on our website. Romey's got 20. Jim Gray, 18. He's right on Romey's behind. Tucker Carlson, 18. Phil Henry, 17.
Are you sure?
Positive. Geraldo, 15. Ben Affleck, 14. David Spade, 12. Richard Gere's got 11. And then in single digits, Kelly Ripa, 9. And I don't care what George says, she looks skanky to me. Barbara Walters, Brian Norcross, Ray Romano, Joe Scarborough, 7. Wolf Blitzkrieg, only 5. Tom Hanks, 5. Terry Bradshaw, 4. Bill Hummer's got a pair. And Soledad O'Brien's probably got a bigger pair. She's got 2. She's a bimbet. She's a silly person. She's what's wrong with the CNN. Right there. Silly person, they got all those panels of the silly little, the pop rock people that come out. Oh, and I think that Elton John just having a hissy fit. All those screaming queens. That's CNN for you, man. You won't get any real news there. Let me tell you that right now. That's why once that verdict came down, they had a 2-hour, it was worse than our Dolphin pregame show. 4-hour deal.
Really?
Oh, yeah. Finished the show on Friday. I go in there, turn on the tube, and like at about 2:15 or something like that, oh, my God, breathlessly, at 4 p.m., they're going to announce the verdict. The jury's reached the verdict. And they're doing like a 2-hour foreplay build up to the verdict, you know?
The anticipation.
See, talking about O.J., see, the networks were desperate for another O.J. The only problem is nobody cared about Scott and Lacey Peterson. Nobody gave a flying fig. Okay, we don't care. We still don't care. It's 11:13. 11:13. We just started here.
Yeah.
Boy, before you know it, it'll be noon. Like I said, that whole thing about next week, something needs to be done about that. I think Joe Zagacki, 10 to 11, sounds like a wiener to me. You know, now's the time to save like never before at Armstrong Ford of Homestead because they have to clear out all remaining 04s to make room for the 2005s. You'll save like never before on all remaining 04s in stock ready for immediate delivery, and all the 05s are in and, of course, ready to roll right out to you. Plus, for a limited time, get yourself 0% financing on any of the following: Explorers, Escapes, Focuses, Tauruses, and Mustangs. Certain restrictions apply. The lots at Armstrong Ford of Homestead are loaded, and with more 05s arriving every day, they're cutting prices like crazy, and you'll save a ton. Armstrong Ford of Homestead, like I always tell you, they offer you more value to you because when you buy your Ford at Armstrong Ford, you'll get an unheard of deal. Their exclusive tires and batteries for life program. That's correct. Tires and batteries for life. I bet you Sally would like that. So if you've been wanting a new car but been putting it off, wait no more. David Rich and his staff at Armstrong Ford of Homestead will guarantee you the best price. And don't forget, Armstrong Ford of Homestead, locally owned and operated, want to make you a customer for life, so they'll treat you just like family. You won't get a better deal on a Ford anywhere. No bait and switch, no phony deals. Armstrong Ford of Homestead at 30725 South Dixie Highway, just 20 easy minutes south of the old 836. Check them on the wicked World Wide Web at ArmstrongCars.com and then drive a little bit. Save thousands on that new Ford only at prestigious Armstrong Ford of Homestead.
The Howard Stern Show. Neil Rogers, mornings and midday. And sports around the clock. 560 QAM.
Neil.
I'm Dick Cheney and I approve. And then classified this ad. And I'm more sexy than John Edwards. Much more sexy than John Edwards. He may look like the Fifth Beatle or one of the Monkees, but I fancy myself as Michael Chiklis. Oh, is that Chiklis? I'm more sexy than John Edwards. Much more sexy than John Edwards. He doesn't have paralysis in his lips to talk on a sign like this. I'm more sexy than John Edwards. I may have lawsuits against me from all over the world, but I'm a decent and law-abiding vice president who never heard of Halliburton. And I'm more sexy than John Edwards. More sexy than John Edwards. I wear clear knee-high socks, and this tie I'm wearing once belonged to Spiro Agnew. In fact, it's the one he used to hang himself. I'm more sexy than John Edwards. He's a liberal and an attorney. What else you got on? Oh, yeah. He's a baby face, too. What else? Look, I want you to rake the muck on this kid, and I want a full report on my desk in the morning. My eyes only. Like I was saying, I'm more sexy than John Edwards. Would you rather look at my crusty old puss for the next 4 years? And besides, he's a liberal. A dirty, filthy liberal. An up-and-coming liberal. Yeah, he's a liberal. A dirty liberal.
Anyway, he's a giant in the crook industry, Dick Cheney, and you'll see how gigantic when you look at that picture we got on the website, overexposed. We'll get to that in a second. First, the poll today. What scares you most about another 4 years of George W. Bush? Supreme Court appointments, we need to put that one on there right away.
All right.
So, Roland Colin resigned today along with 3 other members of Secretary of Education, Secretary of Fascism, Secretary of Joseph Mengele resigned. He's busy on new experiments. Let's see, we got some votes on there already on the new poll. Don't forget Supreme Court appointments, please. 43 votes, loss of freedoms 26, that was my vote. More wars 10, the draft 4, and nothing, it'll be fine, only 3. Only 3 people say, oh, it'll be just fine.
Oh, we're fine.
And of course the audience would say, well, the rush crowd would say, those people, you chased them all away. And yeah, right. Sure we did. Those evangelical Christians that made up the bedrock of your audience, I don't think so. And we have a message on this show, by the way. In fact, we ought to play the message every day, just like thanks for the low gas prices, Mr. President. For all you born-again Christians, you evangelicals.
Go to hell.
Yeah. And believe me, if there is such a place, you'll be the first ones there. You'll be lining the walls there. You'll be flaming is what you'll be doing.
Flaming!
Right. For the kind of crap that you're pulling out. Just peddlers of hate and stupidity, ignorance. That's why those debates didn't make any difference, because don't confuse us with issues and the facts. That's not what counts. That's what counts is this is our boy. Got it? That's what counts. Darva Conger is behind the beaded curtain today. She was born September 21st, 1966. That makes her like 38 in my book. Darva Conger, daughter of Susan Harrison. Who the hell's that?
You tell me.
I don't know. Her filmography is very short. Oh, a good movie I saw last night in between watching the Patriots kick Buffalo ass.
That is?
And that was called Dead Calm with Nicole Kidman and Sam Elliott. You ever see that?
Can't say that I have.
Pretty good flick.
All right.
And she was naked as a jaybird, man. She was screwing her brains out in that movie. And it wasn't the husband either, but she didn't have any choice. But she was very good in that, Nicole Kidman. I was never a big Nicole Kidman fan before, and you know why? I think it's Tom Cruise's fault.
He ruined it for you?
Huh?
He ruined it for you?
No, I think you have to make a choice because the two had such a bitter parting of the ways. Not that I'm sure they ever did anything anyway, but you had to make a choice. And I wrongly chose him, which he turned out to be a real piece of crap. I don't think anybody likes him anymore, do they?
Cruise? No, he's out.
He's definitely yesterday's news, and everybody hates him. Like, oh, he's such a hunchback, and whatever. Plus, of course, that on top of it, a lot of questions about that. Most of them we've already answered. But in her case, she was like, I don't know, but it was a pretty good movie. The ending is like much too abrupt, and George would be bellyaching. Oh, the ending is terrible. But it, instead of dragging it out forever, it's just to get it over with. But it's good.
All right.
Called Dead Calm. It's 86, I believe, was the year, something like that. If you get a chance, take a peek at it, take a puke. Anyway, she was in Celebrity Boxing too, Darva Conger. Rick and Darva, The $1 Million Mistake, the True Hollywood Story. Who Wants to Marry a Multimillionaire? Dog Eat Dog, Weakest Link. She was on with Howard Stern, July 18, 2000. And that's it. That's a medley of her. That's her repertoire right there. Now, getting back to Dick Cheney. Here's the article that goes with it. You can click on the picture there. In fact, be careful where you click. I think the most interesting thing of that picture is not just the package, but I think it's also the custard guy there who's bringing out the goods for Cheney to sample. It looks like that little girl. She's standing in a very bizarre position. I'm sure it's just the angle of the camera shot. You know what I'm saying?
I'm sure.
Yeah. And I'm sure that the little girl's got a good head on her shoulders, but it just looks very peculiar. And very pornographic, and I've seen the whole thing, the idea that our righteous vice president would... That's the one with the bull-dyke daughter, isn't it, Mary Cheney?
I think so.
Yeah. Our vice president with the bull-dyke daughter, this moral values jackass from Wyoming, he's sitting there with a big package exposed, number one, unless maybe it's just a stunt thing. Maybe it's an Oscar Mayer. And number two, the little girl looks like she's having a hell of a time. And too bad we can't see the big smile on the custard guy's face. No wonder Cheney's smiling and laughing, and no wonder he's aroused. Anyway, it says, joining Vice President Dick Cheney's motorcade in Green Bay, Milwaukee, Journal Sentinel photographer Oh, I see. I'm not reading this well. Milwaukee Journal Sentinel photographer Dale Goulden hoped to capture a unique image during an otherwise scripted campaign visit in September. Did he ever? It says. Jumping on and off the press bus. Well, maybe all that jumping on and off the bus is what got him whipped up. Oh, I see. Goulden says he took dozens of pictures and well-orchestrated photo opportunities. On the way to Milwaukee, however, former Green Bay Packers quarterback Bart Starr convinced Cheney to make an unscheduled stop in Glendale to visit local favorite Kopp's Frozen Custard, according to Times reporter Rick Lyman. Kopp's Frozen Custard, you know that, don't you?
Sure.
No, we never heard of it.
No.
I wonder if it's like Abbott's Frozen Custard in Victor, New York. Is that in Victor or Pittsford? I'll have to swim across the lake and find out. When Cheney ordered a decaf coffee and sat on a concrete ledge outside, Kopp's manager Scott Borkin graciously brought him a sample of frozen custard. The guy came all the way from the White House, Borkin said. He has to try our custard. The normally serious Cheney flashed a winning smile for Borkin, and Goulden snapped an attention-grabbing photo that would later be chosen for the front page of the paper's September 11th Metro section. Goulden got a call from a reader the next day who said, "Did you notice anything unusual about that picture?" Upon closer inspection, it seems the vice president's smile was not his biggest asset. Is that what we think it is? You're not imagining it, Goulden says of the unintentionally revealing photo. Let's just say the snugness of Cheney's pants left little to the imagination, and we're not talking about his waistline either. One Journal Sentinel reader pointed out the blooper in an email to WKLH-FM radio hosts Dave Luzak, Carol Kane, and Kevin Brandt, who had a hoot talking about it during their popular morning show. Oh, how come they can talk about stuff like that and we can't, huh? Because they don't have Joyce and the Beasleys destroying their lives. It's nice to have someone of that magnitude in the White House, Brandt joked. He's big in the White House. He's got a porn career right there, Kane snickered. Now we know where his unmitigated confidence comes from, Luzak quipped. We've seen the photo. It's not hard to notice something so well unmistakable, it says. And you can see it right on there, NeilRogers.com, which we're revamping our whole website starting today, even though Eric doesn't know it yet. We will, and we are. Right, Josh?
Right.
Yeah. And it was Miguel's idea. Miguel finally did something good, even though he's a lazy ass that don't want to do those best stuff so the dogs don't have to die. Goulden explains that he took between 100 and 200 photos that day with a digital camera, chose 6 to 8 images for possible publication, and didn't notice anything on the Kopp's image because Cheney sat in the shadows. Incredibly, a dozen or so editors saw the photo before publication, and nobody raised a red flag. Well, maybe they weren't looking at the vice president's crotch. Is that possible? While such a portrait of the VP is clearly inappropriate, it's also a harmless mistake and could be seen as rather, dare we say, flattering. Just ask WKLH's Kane, who dug through her recycling to find the photo. It's like a Scud missile for crying out loud, she said. Want to see the picture for yourself? Well, take a look at it on our website. As a matter of fact, the newspaper is taking it off their website. Oh. Meanwhile, Mark Hoffman, deputy photo editor, suggested we try the paper's photo sales service. It's not on there either. The photo's not for sale. But you can get it free on NeilRogers.com. Along with a bunch of news stories that nobody wants to read. But we're changing the way that's going to be laid out. We're going to lay it out in a way that will be more conducive instead of just letting people read half of the story in a paragraph and then not clicking in to read the whole story. That's what's going on, man. Right?
Right.
Even Miguel noticed that, who's too lazy to do a best-of campaign so those dogs don't have to starve to death and be put to death. 28 after 11 at 560 WQM. You know, IRS tax problems have a way of destroying your life. They take a toll on you financially, physically, and emotionally. You can never really forget about those IRS problems. When you wake up in a cold sweat every morning, that's probably what's foremost on your mind, or maybe the vice president's crotch. CPA Jamie Buchwald and the Buchwald tax firm will help end your IRS problems forever and give you back peace of mind. That's why other top CPA and law firms refer their clients to the Buchwald tax firm when they've got problems with the old IRS. Why not avoid potential criminal prosecution? Get all unfiled tax returns prepared even if you lost all your records. Now suppose you have an IRS lien, a wage levy, owe payroll taxes and penalties. Maybe you'd like to settle for thousands less than you owe. Makes sense to me. Or need time to pay. Whatever your deal, the Buchwald tax firm can help. They offer you a free, no-obligation initial consultation, affordable guaranteed fees, and immediate relief from IRS harassment. And best of all, you never even have to meet with the IRS. The Buchwald tax firm handles all those pain-in-the-ass meetings and discussions. You don't even have to show up. Call them today whether you owe 10 grand or $1 million or anything in between in IRS taxes. The Buchwald tax firm will help you out. Call them at 954-575-2800. That's 954-575-2800. Call them today for your free consultation or visit them on the web at irsfreedom.com and stop sweating over whether the IRS is going to knock down that front door. 954-575-2800 and get that monkey off your back.
You're listening to Neil Rogers exclusively on 560 QAM.
suck it in and hold it.
Opening this weekend. Now that Bill O'Reilly's career as a newsman is on the skids, come on by and check out his new venture. It's Bill O'Reilly's Pleasure Spin Zone.
I've always wanted to drink wine so fast it's like it was being introduced intravenously.
You can get that and so many other devices of special pleasure at Bill's store, like the and of course the ever-popular that people love to name.
I call mine Mr. Newsman.
Bill's got products so hot we can't even say them on the radio. In fact, he's probably got a lot of stuff that should never be recorded anywhere.
Wow, that is inappropriate.
Stop by Bill O'Reilly's Pleasure Spin Zone today and get a coupon good for one free falafel rub. Plus, with every purchase over $50, you'll get a free thank you phone call from Bill himself.
Boom, chicky, wow, wow. Chicky, wow, wow. Hey.
Who's this?
It's Bill O'Reilly, baby. Chicka, waka, wow, wow.
Hello?
I was calling to say, chicky, chicky, whoop, whoop. Thanks for shopping at my store and chicka, wow, wow. What you wearing, baby?
I gotta go.
No, wait, don't hang up. Chicka, wow, wow.
Goodbye, Bill.
I know your boss.
Bill O'Reilly's Pleasure Spin Zone, putting the O in O'Reilly.
I'm just playing that because I enjoy hearing it. I like that one, you know? I mean, I could play some of the other ones.
Dependable 560 WQAM.
But that would be a lie. Are we dependable?
No.
That's a joke. Right?
Right,
Well,
I like the first
dependable
one
would
anyway.
be chaotic and psychotic. See, Norma Kent, in between ordering pizza burgers and Cokes at the drive-thru at Checkers, probably ought to immediately be on top of this thing about, I think this schedule situation is going to bring this all to a head, if I can say that. Can I say it?
No.
Oh, sorry, Joyce. Because I'm just not playing this game no more about, you're starting whenever Stern is done, but when he's on vacation or when he decides to take the day off, you'll start at 10. I don't think so.
Well, that's when he's done.
Yeah, well, guess what? That's not when we start. You know, this is not going to fly. This is very aggravating and agitating. And then to have that mystery voice come in there this morning, who just don't get the message. Well, he'll be off all next week, best of, and then the last 2 weeks of December. Great. Well, guess what? Yeah, very good, Sally. You have a way with words, sweetheart. Exactly my feelings, okay? So, Norma, instead of shoveling down them cloggery arting and artery clogging pizza burgers, ought to be working on important stuff like that. And bringing this to a head, and the reason I say this is because the internet is just loaded. Wall Street Journal, FNQB, I mean, everywhere you look, more stories about Stern threatening and negotiating he's going to get out. And what happens with that? Again, we're just kind of like stepchildren here. That's all we are. We're stepchildren to a show that's going off the air any day. That's a beautiful thing, Greg. Another fine pickle you got us into. Speaking of Cheney and his crotch, another fine pickle. You maniac. With Howard Stern absent from his show Friday morning, a best of was in its place. The Wall Street Journal speculated that the reason for Stern's on-air verbal assaults toward his current employer, Infinity Broadcasting, last week stemmed from his learning that parent company Viacom had withdrawn its financial support from Mr. Stern's legal fight against Clear Channel Communications, which dropped his show earlier in the year after the FCC began a crackdown on indecent broadcasts. The Journal goes on to say that people close to Infinity say that because Mr. Stern was secretly negotiating with Sirius while enlisting the support of Infinity's legal team in his suit against Clear Channel, Infinity no longer feels compelled to back him, and further that Mr. Stern is negotiating to get out of his contract with Infinity so he can join Sirius earlier than the 2006 date currently planned. And, of course, here we are, like I said, stepchildren to the outcome of these ongoing negotiations. And, well, maybe you'll be on at 10:40, and maybe you'll be on at 10:55 like today, and maybe you'll be on at 10:06, and maybe whatever, you know? And like Tom Jicker wrote a couple of weeks ago, and I should have jumped right on this, but I've been too meek and I just roll over and play dead on this whole thing, you know what? And it's a bunch of crap. This is unacceptable is what it is. Totally unacceptable. Nonsense. Talk about jerking the audience around. They're jerking the gherkin is what they're doing, man. They're jerking the whole audience around. And is there any doubt about it?
No, they're trying to keep us on our toes.
Yeah, keep the audience on their toes. Well, how did you do that? And then this business, I guess we're supposed to be promoting, next week we'll be on at 10 all week because Stern's on vacation and it's best up to, although it might be 10:05 and maybe 10:15 and we don't know. Only a crazy person would make a schedule like that. Only somebody that needs mental help. Somebody ought to be in a straitjacket somewhere. And we need some intervention, and in the meantime, the intervener, the guy that could be protecting all of us from this, he's busy ordering pizza burgers at Checkers.
I have 2 pizza burgers and 2 Cokes, one for the Twinkie and one for the Runaway.
Yeah, right. Give me a frickin' break already, will you? Man. I think too much monkey business with them Runaways starts affecting people's brain after a while, you know? Too much bad weed. And definitely too many artery-clogging pizza burgers. It just chokes up your, the blood can't even flow to the brain or where the brain used to be. And here I sit like, in limbo, doing limbo rock. That I'm sure Stern must have addressed this morning, but of course we don't listen to his show, so I have no idea. But I'm getting tired of it. I'm getting really sick of the whole deal with him.
No, I actually listened to a little bit this morning, and he was saying that,
You listened to the Stern show this morning?
I was, what can I say?
Oh, my God.
Which you usually don't, but go ahead.
No, but he was just saying that, he has no idea if he's going to get bought out, and he's just going with the flow, and, which obviously, I can't really believe that he has no idea what's going on.
Well, not only that, but what rubs me the wrong way, and I'm usually for the talent, and, the corporations, most of them suck, but the idea, Infinity, knowing the history of Stern and that company, they have backed him and paid millions of dollars on FCC fines, even though, of course, he's made them many millions more. But the fact is, they've backed him 1,000%.
Well, that's what he said. He said, I can't see myself leaving early because I make this company a lot of money, so I wouldn't see why they would.
No, but it's not just because they make it, but you're missing my point. The fact is that they backed him 10,000%, then he goes behind their back and negotiates with Sirius this summer while they're helping him, they're helping with his suit against Clear Channel, which is why they bailed out. They said, well, you're looking to stab us in the back and bail out without us knowing about it, and you want us to help you out with well, screw you, is what they said. So it's a very ugly situation that could implode or explode at any time, and who knows how many bucks Sirius is going to come up with if they're really serious about finding that out. And what do we do then, sports fans? Huh? I mean, we've been left in limbo, man, and I'm the only one that's screaming and yelling about it because all these other people are too worried about stupid sports crap and about not offending the Dolphins, which we'll get to that very jackass story, by the way. That's embarrassing, but not unusual. It's typical. That's why when we had that silly-ass Dave Wannstedt press conference a week ago, they closed the pot. Couldn't even smoke it anymore. They closed the pot because, God forbid, we should hear those funny things that Neil's going to drop in there to make fun of Dave Wannstedt and the organization during their time of grief and need and Souris.
Yeah, we can't make a joke of that.
No, God forbid that. It's a joke that they're 1-8. Last time I looked, the Patriots... Huh?
Nobody else is making a joke.
Last time I looked, the Patriots are 8-1 and the Dolphins are 1-8. Sounds like the same numbers, just kind of like turned backwards to me. That's all it is. Maybe it's not a rectum. Yeah, maybe it's a rectum problem. Because as far as I'm concerned, the Spielmeister and the coach, the both of them.
Rectum? Hell, it damn near killed him.
There you go. See, he's got his thumb on it. He knows what happened. But, oh, no, the coach is a wonderful coach, and he resigned. Of course, he didn't get fired. Guess what? There isn't a Chinaman's chance in hell that Mr. H didn't fire his ass, okay? But who cares about that? Patriots kicked Buffalo. You should have seen it. It was really funny because in the Buffalo sportscasts and in the newspapers, even the Toronto newspapers, leading up to last night's game, just because Buffalo had an and of course the Jets lose. Pennington's injured, and the Jets now lose every week, like yesterday they blew the game to Baltimore. And the Buffalo victory last week, they're on the way now. The Bills have got together, and they kept talking during the telecast about how they were, Bledsoe and the whole team were so positive. If they ever went into a game confident they were going to win. And, of course, the Patriots never even took out a second gear. I mean, it's just cruise control the entire game and just crushed them like stepping on a cockroach, stepping on an ant. Right?
Right.
Did you watch any of it?
I did, yeah. It was,
Nolo Contendere, baby. Brady and the crew, they were just like Corey Dillon. 150 yards plus for Corey Dillon, man. See, now we're dangerous. Now that we actually got a running game. That's we, the Patriots. Yeah, the world champion Patriots, that is. We.
I think you're going to have some problems, though.
With what?
With your defense. Your defensive backs are injured. That's going to catch up to you.
Now, don't let me forget when we come back, I'm going to get this internet, the website thing all straightened out. We got a lot of business to take care of here today, including jingles. Lots of jingles. Oh! Yeah, it's, look at that, 18 till noon already. Are you expecting guests this Thanksgiving? It's not the turkey that makes the meal special, it's the people. Well, to each its own. Making sure your guests sleep just as comfortably as you do by calling Dial a Mattress at 1-800-MATTRESS, whether they plan weeks in advance to show up or they just come knocking on your door with no warning. You can get them just the right mattress on the very same day they show up, because now, when you call 1-800-MATTRESS, you'll save an additional 20% on select models while supplies last. And we're still talking the top names in the business. Sealy, Serta, Simmons, King, Coral, Stearns, and Foster Hewitt, Tempur-Pedic too. When you call 1-800-Mattress, you'll get same-day delivery, like I said. And you still pick the date and time for delivery, any 2-hour window that fits your schedule when you want. Dial Mattress continues to be mighty proud, and why not, of their 99.7 on-time record. They're ranked number 1 in the world in customer satisfaction. They were winners of the 2004 Better Business Bureau Local Torch of Excellence Award. I've been using Dial Mattress for years. All the other folks at the station are using them too, because why waste time, money, and gas schlepping to your bedding and department stores helping pay their big overhead when you can get the best deal and a great night's sleep for years to come by making one easy call. 1-800-Mattress or online it's mattress.com. 1-800-MATTRES.
You're listening to Neil Rogers exclusively on 560 QAM.
Buffalo blows, and so do the Bills. Oh!
Miami has the Dolphins, they're the worst football team. They flub the ball from goal to goal like no one's ever seen. They're on the ground, that's where they'll stay, they're never in control. And when you say Miami, you're talking toilet bowl, 'cause they're the Miami Dolphins. Miami Dolphins. Miami Dolphins number, how many teams in the league? 32. Miami Dolphins. Miami Dolphins. Don't bet on them, you'll always lose. They don't know how to tackle. They don't know how to block. Their coaches ought to tell them to put Bengay in their jock. Then they would run much faster, and even in defeat, when we go to the stadium, we'll see Miami Heat, and they're the Miami Dolphins. Miami Dolphins. Miami Dolphins number, how many teams in the league? 32. Miami Dolphins. Miami Dolphins. Miami Dolphins number, how many teams in the league? 32. Miami Dolphins. Miami Dolphins. I hear the crowd begin to boo. The Dolphins have Jay Fiedler. That quarterback's a Jew. Run down the field and he will throw a pass over you. Oh, he'll never win a Super Bowl. You shouldn't be so. Miami Dolphins. Miami Dolphins. Miami Dolphins number, oh what the hell, 32. Miami Dolphins. Miami Dolphins. Miami Dolphins, now they're through. I'm dying over here.
Speaking of that. Oh, don't forget, I haven't promoted this heavily enough, and you're not even giving me crap about it, Miguel.
About what now?
About the QM van, about that big thing out. Oh, he belongs in one, like National Lampoon. Don't forget, Dead Calm with Nicole Kidman and Sam Elliott. Not too bad.
Got the curly hair in that movie.
It's pretty good. You'd enjoy it. No, actually, you wouldn't like it. You didn't like Magnolia. You didn't like good movies.
I don't know Magnolia.
Speaking of the adult, you didn't see that? Then what's the one that you didn't like? I know it was Requiem for a Dream. You're lying. You're just trying to save face on that.
I would tell you.
You hated that movie. You said you didn't understand it. Dolphins rapport with it because there was nothing about Cuba in there. Well, maybe eventually they got on a slow boat. Maybe that's where, what's his name wound up? Jared Leto. Maybe he wound up in Cuba. They got some good crap there. It's on the way to Jamaica. Dolphins' rapport with media reaches a critical point, wrote Barry Jackass in the Herald on Saturday. And boy, you talk about uptight and out of sight. They're always like real thin-skinned. You know, the NFL's got the red skin, but they also got the thin skin, which is the organization. That would have been a good poll someday. First of all, if we had any hockey fans, but we don't, and if there was any hockey going on, which there's not. Which local sports organization is the most uptight and out of sight? Is it the Marlin organization? Don't forget about Hank's 6-week suspension now for telling a true story. Is it the Dolphin organization, which Barry's got a whole thing here, which we'll get to, or is it the Panther organization? Boy, were those some ugly days right after I first came to QAM, man. The BM show there in the morning, and Chris Moron had to come in to take the calls and to intercept and be the mediator because the Panthers were stinking the joint out and made a bunch of horrible trades, and so we had to protect the spokesman. Dolphins rapport with media reaches a critical point, writes Miss Jackass on Saturday. Says the Dolphins made a transparent attempt to soften criticism when Dave Wannstedt and Rick Spielman invited local columnists to an off-the-record meeting at a Davie Country Club last March. It didn't work. In recent months, the Dolphins have been criticized more than ever, and justifiably so. You go, Barry. He's eating a nice bologna sandwich right now, Barry, on white bread. But the franchise's sensitivity remains high. Although the Dolphins insist they don't try to muzzle criticism, the team has had issues with several media members for various reasons ranging from on-air criticism to how WQM's color commentator travels to games. Consider. FIU coach Don Strzok, who has a weekly show on 790 ESPN Radio, received a call from Harvey Green, not from Fudge Brown, but Harvey Green, not from old Mellow Yellow, but Harvey Green, the Dolphins Vice President of Media Relations, after the Herald ran Strzok's comments criticizing the team a few weeks ago. I was disappointed. I thought some of his comments were unfair to Coach Wannstedt, Green said, who of course later got fired. Strzok said he wasn't surprised Green called, didn't seem upset about it. Strzok isn't the only ex-Dolphin to receive feedback to criticism. I'll have talks with certain guys who will disagree with things I say. Joe Rose said, they'll say, I heard you said so-and-so. I'm sure they don't want former guys ripping them, but I don't get paid by the Dolphins. So in other words, little dog, he's going to say whatever he wants. You go, Joe. Oh! We miss you badly, by the way, Joe. Oh, boy, we had the world by the tail then, until somebody we know came along and screwed it all up. Wannstedt called at least 3 local columnists in the past several months to question facts and opinion pieces. One of those columnists said he received calls from Wannstedt, Spielman, and Green after writing columns that weren't completely favorable. This business of trying to intimidate the media, man, makes me sick, makes me want to puke. I hate organizations like that. One more reason not to be a Doll fan. By the way, did you see the Patriots kicked ass last night, 29-6? There have been a few issues with employees of flagship station WQM dating to last December when play-by-play announcer Howard David conveyed a broadcast report about Randy Muller possibly becoming general manager. Green said he subsequently asked David to run rumors past us before going with them. In other words, they have to approve it up front before you go on the air with anything. Now here's the best part. Analyst Jim Mandich, meanwhile, was taken back when Green informed him he could no longer travel on the players' bus from the hotel to the stadium for road games. It was a distraction to players getting ready to play, Green said. Mandich, who noted he'd been allowed on the bus for a year, said, I was told players were uncomfortable with me on the bus as a member of the media, to which I said, fine, I don't want to be where I'm not wanted. My personal feeling is we were 0-6 at the time. People get twitchy. Was Mandich surprised? I'm way past the surprise part, he said. Green insists the decision has nothing to do with Mandich's criticism of the team on the broadcast, which were detailed in the Herald less than 2 weeks before he was thrown off the bus. Green said Mandich is allowed to ride the team's media bus, but Mandich declined. Meanwhile, WQM's Big O, Orlando Alzaquiri, recently brought tapes to Green after a player complained he heard a pregame host say the Dolphins were practicing fake punts. Alzaquiri denied he made the comments, and the tapes vindicated him. The Dolphins then resumed allowing reporters to watch the special teams part of practice. Boy, you talk about paranoid and uptight. Man, oh, Manischewitz, huh? You guys suck, okay? The team blows. They're an embarrassment. They're a disgrace. And then Wannstedt's got the balls to say, well, part of the problem was the dilemma about the 2 quarterback situation. You know, we got touchy-feely and we already had feely. Problem is they both suck. That's the problem, Dave. And by the way, you're not fooling anybody on this show. We all know you got fired. You didn't resign. You didn't step aside. You got fired. Firedddd, right?
No doubt about it.
No question about it. You see that? Even Josh, who ordinarily minds his P's and Q's because he don't want to get canned. Even he opened into Miguel. He don't care. He'll tell you right now he got fired.
Who?
Dave Wannstedt. Got fired.
Hey, by the way.
Just like Don Shula, yeah? Something?
We have put the stories on top on the website now.
Well, but that's only part of it. See, I haven't even gotten to that yet. It's already noon. See how time is slipping away now that we got this horseball half of the show. That this is not going to fly anymore. I'm going to bat for the audience. Okay, sure, it's easy to be lazy and say, well, it's more fun. You know, we joke about to only do 3 hours. That's crap. This show is on from 10 to 2, period, okay? The fact that you sold a house to 2 people the same house, that's your problem, Greg. This show is on 10 to 2, period. In fact, I think starting tomorrow, we're going to start the show at 10. If they want to put it on, fine. If not, you'll just miss the first, however long it's going to be. This business coming out a different time every day is totally unacceptable. It's garbage is what it is. It's stupid, especially when we're being preempted by a show where the host is telling every day, any day could be the last, you know? Every day he ends like, well, if we're here tomorrow, all this other crap. Well, that's really sweet, ain't it? Now, what was I just saying before you interrupted me? Oh, about the website. Not only do we want to move the stories to the top, but we want just the headline. You see, I hate to break the news to you, Eric, because I know it was your brainstorm, and I know it looks fine.
Well, no,
but if, huh?
I talked to him about that.
And
he says that he thinks he should leave.
I don't care what he thinks.
All right.
I don't care what he thinks. When he starts saying he thinks, that's an oxymoron. The idea Eric is thinking, okay? He thinks. He eats. He eats. He don't think. Okay? He thinks what?
Well.
No, what did he say?
No, he's saying that a lot of the time.
I don't want to hear it.
Okay.
It's 11:58 at 5:60. I don't care what he thinks. The headline, if it's good enough for Yahoo, it's good enough for everybody in the world. But no, we got to give like the whole paragraph. So the people are lazy, Eric. They're not going to read the rest of the story. They're not going to click on the link and read it because you're giving them half the story. It's like you're giving the goods right there. It's like going to a movie and they give you the ending in the first 2 minutes and everybody gets up and walks out, right? No good. 2 minutes till noon at QM if you want to know about following a low-carb diet. If you want the best tasting, biggest selection of low-carb foods at the best price, then head for Delights of West Boca. Whether you're starting or restarting the Atkins, the Sugar Buster, South Beach, or any low-carb, sugar-free diet, Delights of West Boca has always been the #1 low-carb store in town. Now, of course, they got some meat and cheese and about half of a shelf full of stuff in your supermarket, which is fine. But if you want some things with some variety and taste, you're going to love Delights because that's the biggest problem when you follow those low-carb diets. It gets boring. No matter how great it sounds, with meat and lobster and cheese and more meat and cheese and lobster and eggs, you got to have some variety and some taste. At Delights, you'll find over 1,200 products in stock, like Carbolite ice cream, breads, pastas, chocolates, brownies, cookies, and lots more, all low-carb, all geared to you and your low-carb diet. Delights is open every day, 7 days a week from 10 till 10. The people who work there know into low-carb dieting inside and out. And you'll find Delights on the northeast corner of Glades and 441, right next to Boston Market. You can call them toll-free, 1-877-LOW-CARB, LOWCARB, or on the web it's lowcarb.com. There's only one, but what a great store it is. It's Delights of West Boca, your official Atkins retail center.
You're listening to Neil Rogers on 560 QAM.
This is Dick Cheney. I like to relax by having Mary Magdalene massage my balls while listening to the Neil Rogers 12 to 1 hour.
If you can't get enough CSI, you need to get The Sounds of CSI, the only album with actual sound effects from the show, like the slow liquid drip of putrefying organs and the squishy munching of squirming maggots gorging on human flesh. But wait, there's more. The Sounds of CSI also features the sharp, sickening crack of splintering bone as a bullet punches a hole in a human skull. And the low, heavy whomp of a little lump of lead exploding out the back of the head in a slow-motion spatter of bone, brains, and blood. If it seeps, leaks, leaches, sprays, spews, gushes, dribbles, or oozes, you'll hear it on The Sounds of CSI.
328 votes on that poll. Speaking of CSI, CBS fired producer who broke into CSI. Wow. For that Arafat death announcement, Arafat. You notice Arafat's brother just died yesterday again. The Arafats are dying all over the place.
I'm dying over here.
He died again. Well, they all have to die like several times just to make sure. 328 votes. What scares you most about another 4 years of George W. Bush? And by the way, election was definitely stolen. Loss of freedom's 116. You already lost your freedom to vote. Because your vote don't count unless it's the right way, the far right way. Supreme Court appointments 101, which of course ties in with the first one. More wars 60. Nothing, it'll be fine. Look at how many people voted for that.
About 30, man.
I bet you Old Dirty be proud. 9% of this audience say, oh, it'll be just fine. And the draft 21. CBS fires producer who broke into CSI. The news report came during the last 5 minutes of the forensics mystery last Wednesday about Arafat's death, prompting viewer complaints and leading CBS to repeat the show on Friday. The producer responsible ignored network policy to contact a senior executive before interrupting a regularly scheduled program for a news report. I mean, if we're going to watch CSI in New York, who the hell cares about Yasser Arafat, right? What's wrong with you people? Especially when we got breaking news about Scott and Lacey freaking Peterson, just because the election was stolen, and just because CNN is hyperventilating about Scott Peterson for hours and hours and hours. Also, with Arafat reportedly near death for several days, CBS had left explicit instructions for how to deal with that event. Run a crawl at the bottom of the screen. Run a crawl. In other words, it was a foregone conclusion, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Now, what were you just saying about Eric was trying to give a song and a dance about our website and about what's his take?
He He basically said that...
Oh, a military statement said yesterday 38 U.S. troops killed and 275 wounded so far in the Fallujah operation. Meanwhile, Mosul is total out of control, and they're like, the city of Fallujah is just totally leveled. I mean, people who are going to try to come back to their homes are going to find nothing but rubble, and they're like dead bodies in the streets. They have no estimate of civilians killed or wounded because it would be too embarrassing. It's called emancipation by elimination, baby. We're going to come and kill you, and then you'll be free from all of those stories. Now, what were you saying?
The website looks great.
No, what were you saying that Eric was trying to give you a song to dance? Come on, you can do it.
Over here. Basically, he's saying that people don't always read the article just by looking at the title. And most of the sites around have at least a paragraph, you know.
No, they don't. Like one. Give me one site that's got at least a paragraph. Name me one.
Well, I mean, to what
he said. Name me one.
To what he said everyone, including sports and news sites, all of them. At least have a little, you know.
Does Yahoo have that? Does Hotmail have that?
No.
Does Lynn Samuels have that? Does Miss Fudge have that? Does the Drudge Retort have that? No. No. Now, Smirking Chimp has got that. We use a lot of their stories. They're great. But, we don't need to put the whole story on there. I'm telling you, more people will read it. Well, in fact, on Smirking Chimp, the whole story is there. Pretty much. In addition to which, obviously our website is primarily of much greater interest to people who want to see naked pictures, boobies, and funny stuff like Dick Cheney's package and whatever else, and Jim Rome getting whacked by Jim, don't call me Betsy Everett, Chrissy Everett, whatever it is. They want to see that. Because now that he alerted me to the fact that we can, I never knew this on those stats, that you can see how many people are reading what and looking at what and squeezing what. You can see that on there? Well, I told you before the show, I know it's depressing because there's a lot of work that goes into that all the way around, but very few people have been reading those articles. So here's an attempt by me to see if it is worthwhile or not. And don't call in here and give me a song that, if you stop putting those news stories on there, what would we do? Because nobody's reading them, okay? Now, maybe part of the problem for that being that they just read the one paragraph that we put on there gratuitously, freely, and then after that, it's like a newspaper. Even people that read a newspaper, how many of them are left in America?
About 30, man.
Right. They read the headlines, or maybe they read the first sentence or so, and that's it. See what I'm saying?
See what you're saying.
It is the truth. That is the freaking truth. And if you wanted to take a survey among people who read newspapers, you'd find they read the front page of the front section. And they read the headlines, or they may glance at the first sentence or two or paragraph or two of the stories on the front page. They'll do the same in the local news section, and then they'll go and read the whole sports section from front to back. That's what I do.
Pretty much.
Yeah. Well, why the hell not? Got all this hockey news for crying out loud. And don't you dare call here and ask me any questions about hockey, okay? Forget about it. It's done. Finished. They've destroyed the game. They've ruined it. A bunch of greedy bastards all the way around. See, it's kind of hard for people who are making like, $50,000 a year, $40,000 a year. Kind of hard for them to relate to some schmuck who's making $1.8 million a year who thinks he's getting not paid enough. He doesn't want to give like a little bit back. But I think everybody generally just fed up with the whole deal. WQAM, hello.
Yeah, I'm calling. My name is Jimmy.
What kind of a phone are you on, Jimmy? You got like two wires tied together there or what?
No, I got the top of the line singular phone.
Yeah. Well, we love our friends at Singular Wireless. You just must have got a bad phone. 567-0560, pound 560 on the Verizon and Singular. Sounded like he had like a can of Campbell's soup and two strings attached to it. Yeah. You could almost hear Reggie White's mama in there, you know what? WQAM, hello.
Yeah, what's up?
Yeah?
Where's George?
I beg your pardon?
Where's George?
Where's George? George is on vacation today. Why, do you miss him?
Yeah, I want to go. Bye.
Yeah. 567-0560, pound 560 on the Verizon and Singular Wireless lines. This is tremendous, man. This is beautiful. WQAM, hello.
You whiner.
WQAM, hello.
Hey, Neil.
Same ones from Friday. Yes, sir, leftovers. Yes.
What's that?
Go ahead, sir. Speak to me. Come on, don't worry about these other people. Let's get to your stuff.
Hey, listen, I just want to know how much for a 3-foot help monkey, man.
Yeah, okay. WQAM, hello.
Hey, Neil.
Yes, sir.
All right, hey, one thing I learned with this election, man, is that I won't vote for the guy because I hate the other one. I should have went with Nader. At least my vote would have counted.
Yeah, that's right. That would have been good, yeah. Should have went with Nader. Another genius. They're all coming out today, baby. All depressed because Dave Wannstedt resigned. WQAM, hello.
Yes, Neil. I must
Yes,
be
sir.
one of those 30 people that still read a newspaper.
Mm-hmm.
I find it still one of life's great enjoyments, rather than the
Too bad
internet.
you don't have a real newspaper to read in South Florida.
Well, that's one of the big problems. I still
Yeah.
get the New York Times, and then I get one of the local rags.
If you want to read a real newspaper, you have to go on the internets.
Well, that's true, but like I said, I get the Times a little bit. You know, you do search the internet too, but the fact of sitting down with a cup of coffee or whatever else and going through the paper and reading all the little articles that don't make the internet with the main news, it's still an enjoyable part of my day.
Yeah.
And you know, I guess I'm probably one of the few 30 to do that. But many newspapers that have been good over the years have collapsed, and you could pile those up.
Well, the reason because people don't read newspapers, because America's a bunch of morons, okay? Because it's uneducated, illiterate idiots who are busy with Jesus. Jesus this. They show the pictures of those people in those churches, man. And I want to run. It's scary. And they got their arms up in the air, and they're like, got the tears in their, oh, you know. I mean, you talk about the hypnotized masses, and if there's 100 million of these people in America today, thank God I'm across the border, eh? That's all I can tell you. Good luck to you. I'll send you a care package, eh? I'll send you a rubber raft and float across Lake Ontario. Man, oh man, 100 million of these like that, and you wonder why this slaughter and this butchery goes on, and people all they're supposed to be concerned about is Scott and frickin' Lacey Peterson? Who gives a flying crap about that? Does anybody care about that? About him, whether they fry his ass or not?
They must, because it was nonstop over the weekend.
They still don't care. Don't you understand? This again is the media trying to tell you what you're supposed to care about. Because they have milked this. They're so desperate for OJ Part 2, man. They're just dying for sensational. I mean, who cares about him? Was he famous?
No.
Was she famous?
No.
Was the baby famous?
No.
No.
She's
Mark
cute, though.
Garagos, he's famous, and of course he blew another big one, like he's so famous for doing. And wasn't even there for the verdict being read. He was busy in L.A. on some of the, yeah, right. They all ripped him an ass on that. Anybody that looks like that, just like Rimmer, with that kind of like old snaky kind of looking mustache like that, don't ever trust anybody that looks like that. 12:13 at 560 WQAM. When you shop for quality footwear, there's a store you are absolutely going to love. They've been going strong for years and years in the same great location. And, of course, beyond the shadow of a doubt, we're talking about Brandy's in Pompano Beach. You'll find the biggest selection of great name brand men's and women's shoes. You'll find people that take good personal care to make sure you get a perfect fit every time. And whatever brands you love, they got them. They got the top names in the shoe business. No off-brands. They got Rockports, Florsheim, SAS, Sperry, Timberland, Naturalizer, and all the other top brands, too. Brandy's is open daily 9 till 9, Monday through Saturday, and every Sunday 10 to 5. And you'll find them at 1290 North Federal Highway in Pompano Beach. And all this week at Brandy's, it's an even better time than usual to buy those great New Balance shoes. Come in for great savings on all men's and women's styles this week, or visit them on the web at brandysshoes.com.
You're listening to Neil Rogers exclusively on 560 QAM.
Is dumbfounded.
Baby, can't you see I'm swollen? I've got a bun in the oven. My boobies hurt, lactating. I'm craving now. I want some food, some Haagen-Dazs and pickles too. It helps me out with my moods. Stomach rising now. Gonna be a big fat cow. I'll pop my battery. Kevin went and planted his dancing seed. I'm not soon I'll be a milk. This is something I know that I cannot see. Gonna be a real mom, 'cause the others are step kids. Wanted one of my own, 'cause the others are step kids. Hoping for a Britney clone, 'cause I want more than step kids.
1219 at 560 WQAM. Mad Dog at 2. He'll tell you all about that team bus and about the press bus and about all that crap. Hank Goldberg at 4, the Humper. You got Geldy at Smoky Bones in Boca tonight.
All of these things.
From 7 to 10. What?
Plantation.
Well, it says Boca on my schedule here. They can't even get this right, you know? They can't get anything right. Smoky Bones in Plantation?
See.
Well, how do you like that? So go see Geldy. Say bye-bye, Geldy. It's been nice knowing you. He'll be at 7 to 10. Eddie K at 10 o'clock. That's our schedule. No ball games, no hockey games, no basketball games because we don't got the heat. Now, getting back to that website thing. I noticed George's favorite website, CapitolHillBlue.com, which I love. They do have like a sentence, you know, at the beginning of each story, like a sentence, maybe two, but not like half of the story on there like we were doing all that time.
Well, by the way, it's fixed, so it's
Okay, just relax now. This is not like the end of the world. I know Eric gets very hyper. He takes it's a work of love. We understand that. Puts a lot of work into that. We appreciate it very, very much. We appreciate having Romy and Homie and Chrissy Everett on there. That's great. And we like Cheney's package being on there even better with that little girl who's doing God only knows what to get her custard. That's not where the custard comes out of, honey. 421 votes on the poll. What worries you most about 4 more years of George W. Bush in the second stolen election? I'll tell you one thing. He'll go down maybe not the best American president, possibly the worst, but certainly the only one who served, who got in office twice. I don't know how long he's going to serve. Who got in office twice and was never elected either time. That's unique. Loss of freedoms, 151. Supreme Court appointments, 129. More wars, 75. Nothing. It'll be just fine, 41. 9.7%. The draft, 25. WQAM line 9. Hello.
Neil.
Yes, sir.
Hey, I was listening to that. What's that Channel 2 program, Washington Journal or something?
Yeah.
Yeah, and somebody called in on the neo-Nazi line and said they were asking people why they voted for Bush and didn't and things like that. He said, well, I voted for Bush, and he started giving the old usual party line and this and that, and they said, well, why didn't you vote for Kerry? And he said, well, obviously he's a Catholic.
Oh, that's a good reason.
So
Yeah.
that made sense to me, you know.
Right.
It makes as much sense than anything else. And the fact that these people, 70% of them still think Hussein was hooked up with 9/11 and everything else.
Yeah.
Just
Well,
tells you what.
I don't know whether they really believe that. They're just saying that so they have an excuse because what it's all about is, So
in the Republican Party,
right.
that would be a good chunk of them too.
You bet. You got it, man.
Love you. Bye.
See you at the border, Pally. 5670560. Come on, let's hear about that website. Let's hear about what it is that draws you in there, that sucks you in. Because look, you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make him drink. And when I look at some of those stories, getting like 20 people reading them, a whole bunch of them, for example, like over the weekend, what's the point? Is it really worth that much effort for like 20 people to read it? Would you print a newspaper if 20 people were going to read it? Of course not. So I'm just trying to goose it up a little bit so Eric can make a few thousand on that and retire pretty soon. Or at least go out and buy several more lunches every day. WQAM, hello.
Neil,
Yes, sir.
Howard, did you catch 60 Minutes last night?
Did not do it, no.
They had the guy on that was in charge of the Bin Laden file from the get-go. He retired from the CIA.
Well, you know something? That's great that they do it a week and a half after the election, isn't it?
I know, it's amazing.
Just like CNN doing all these exposés again about the religious nuts in America, which they've shown that 45 times, and also doing the big thing about the crooked House of Saud and the Saudi royal family, even though it was a weak show. But they do that all after the election is over, after the horse is out of the barn.
I know it. They're doing it on purpose. I would call my friend who's actually not a friend of mine, but a guy that I do business with, always talking about Bush and everything. I told him to put it on, and he says, well, it's okay if Bin Laden drops a nuclear bomb on us, we're all going to heaven, so don't worry about it.
Yeah.
I'll see you at the border.
Okay, Pally, we're waiting for you. We got a welcome party. We'll put out the welcome mat. We'll roll it out. And if you can really like it, you can do a little curling on it, too, while you're at it. WQAM, hello. There you go. Now we got we'll try it for a couple of days, and we'll see. We can get the stats on here. We'll see if other people are going to read these stories or not. Probably just out of spite they won't. Oh, well, I don't know what that means. Oh, overexposed. That should get some interest. That's the one about Cheney, man. That's about your vice president who's got whatever that's hanging there. Who knows what the hell that is, okay? Maybe it's like a prosthesis, for all we know. Maybe that's what connects to his pacemaker. That could be the battery pack, for all we know. WQAM, hello.
Neil.
Yes, sir.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm
Neil,
okay. Good afternoon.
Regarding your poll, I think one of the scariest things about this president is the fact that, I don't know if you remember his first press conference, Ohio.
Yeah.
And I think that if they do that and they have enough, I don't know if proof, because I think these people are smart enough that they stole it in daylight again, like they did in 2000, that they would try, like, they wouldn't leave a trail. But
Of course, you can't leave a trail where there's no paper trail. That's the point. That's why, like in Florida, I talked to so many people who said they pressed Kerry and it kept coming up Bush for 2 or 3 times until finally they hoped or thought they changed their vote. But who knows what the hell was recorded. I never heard from anybody or about anybody who said they voted for, they punched Bush and it came up Kerry. Nobody.
It's ridiculous. Well, let's go.
Well, good luck. Maybe the president can lead a fight for democracy in America again, okay? He's bringing democracy to Iraq. Maybe he can bring it back to America. Huh?
Yeah.
Remember those days when we used to actually have free, honest elections, or at least somewhat honest, or at least more creative ways to steal them? I mean, this one right again, stolen right there. And where the hell is the media again? All these stories about Diebold and the college kids that hacked into their computers, all of this stuff, weeks and weeks and months before the election. They weren't talking about any of that. Oh, once in a while you get a little piece on 60 Minutes, 2020. That's it. No, they're too busy talking about caca like Scott and Lacey Peterson and about Operation Fallujah bloodbath and how wonderful it is now the city, how easy it was to go through it. Yeah, it was real easy, just like it was easy going to Iraq in the first place. But everybody bailing out, running for the hills. Of course, did they get the terrorists they were looking for?
No.
Did they get al-Zarqawi?
No.
Did they get Mullah Omar? Forget about Osama.
No.
They ain't got squat.
Yeah,
But we got a lot of dead bodies and bloodbath and butchery and rubble and body parts in the streets. That's what we've got. And your media continues reporting this like it was some glorious, wonderful thing. Oh, you can't say that because it sounds like you're criticizing the troops. Nobody's criticizing the troops. They're just doing what they're going to be ordered to do. That's all. And the idea that over 50% of the public is willing to sit back and, in the name of God, in the name of religion, promote this butchery and support it. And, of course, that's what's gone on throughout history in the name of religion forever, ever since there's been these idiotic religions. Kill the enemy, kill the infidels. That's what the Muslims say, kill the infidels. That makes them bad guys. These crazy goyim say kill the infidels. Oh, well, that's, we're killing them for Christ.
That's God's way.
There you go. It's God's way. And if those Iraqis just wouldn't have attacked us in the first place on 9/11, maybe we might have a few of them still alive. Oh, and by the way, they're saying now, forget about those elections in January. You ain't got a Chinaman's chance. 29 past noon at 560 WQM. If your carpets are really a nightmare, if they look like they have no Chinaman's chance of being saved because they're so dirty, before you go out and spend a fortune on brand new carpeting for your entire home, do yourself a big favor. Call the people I've been using in my homes for over 20 years now, Dry Concepts, because they're the best in the universe. They came to IOD. Remember WIOD? Vaguely, back in the day. No, seriously, we had a building that was about 7,000 years old, and they came in there. They were sponsored. They'd been on for years and years with me, but they came in there and they cleaned the downstairs carpeting there that hadn't been cleaned in about how many years?
About 30, man.
And you couldn't believe it. When they finished, it looked like they had brand new laid right there on the floor. And believe me, at IOD, there was a lot getting laid on the floor. So, and not only that, but you don't have to worry about scams and additions to the price when they finish the job because of Dry Concepts. Not only do they do an unbeatable, superior job like nobody else in the world, but they give you a written, guaranteed price up front before they start doing the job. When they finish, your carpets look just like brand new. They smell lemony fresh. They dry in just a couple of hours. So it's really not just a slogan. It's a for real that you can clean today and entertain tonight when you use our friends at Dry Concepts. Whether it's your carpeting, your furniture, your drapery, your expensive Oriental and area rugs, believe you me, these are the people you want to call. In Dade, Broward, and Palm Beach, you can call them toll free, 1-800-248-5071. That's 1-800-248-5071. Dry Concepts, making carpets clean in South Florida since 1979.
You're listening to Neil Rogers exclusively. QAM.
It's Howard. Howard Sperm.
Well, my name is Gary Condit, and I am living my worst fear. 'Cause I banged one of my interns, and then she went and disappeared. Oh, Chandra, they weren't surprised when I finally told the cops I lied. And I was humping Chandra, humping her instead of my wife. Humping Chandra, 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 yeah. And I've lied about more.
How's Gary Conduit doing? Anything more about him? Anything new about Alien, huh?
Nothing.
All of these things that the media gets everybody, including you, by the way, speaking of Alien, whipped up into a fur, all that crap.
He's gone. What are you going to do?
Yeah. Yeah, bring him back. Come on. I mean, now the election has been stolen again. That's old news. And now that We got Roland Colin Powell resigned today, plus a whole bunch of other members of the cabinet have stepped down. Let's see, 6 members of the cabinet already have departed. Because this president now needs a wartime consigliere. Now that he's going to, completely disembowel the Bill of Rights and the Constitution, we can't have any namby-pamby guys in there. That's why, they cleaned out the CIA. Anybody who even, looked at them cross-eyed, forget about it. You're out. Now they're doing the putsch. Whatever the hell that was. 567-0560, pound 560 on the Verizon and Singular Wireless line. Don't forget, tomorrow we start at 10. See, the problem with that is we could stream the first hour, but they won't do it. In other words, we have no control over that. See what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because aren't they streaming what's on the air? They're not streaming pre-delay, right?
Although we don't stream Howard,
No.
so... I mean, it's possible.
What?
You'll be streaming us at 10.
As soon as you come on, it'll be streaming.
No, but you don't understand. In other words, they would have to cooperate. They would have to do it.
Yeah, that would be the problem.
Yeah, that would be the problem, getting cooperation from them or communication from them or anything from them. I think that's a great idea. If people want to listen to the show on the Internet, we could start at 10 o'clock every day. And I'll say it again, with all due respect to Stern, 70% of our audience doesn't listen to Howard Stern. 70% of this audience wants the Neil Rogers show from 10 to 2. That's what I'm getting paid to do. I'm not doing 3 hours only because I'm going on strike or something. Because a legal agreement has been entered into where obviously they agreed to carry the entire show or they never would have been allowed to carry it in the first place. That's obvious. I don't need to see any contract or see that written out. It's obvious they got snooked into that deal. And so, we'll just put Neil on whenever the hell Howard's ready. Because Howard, that's the future of QAM. Well, guess what? Yeah. The joke's on you, sweetheart. He may not be the future more than, who knows from day to day and week to week what evil lurks, huh? When he finally comes out one day and Infinity's had enough of him or Sirius buys them out or who the hell knows what, as the publicity machine continues running through the mill. Now, when's the next trend come out? Do we have it on the calendar yet or not?
It is not on the calendar.
Oh, because that's going to be really interesting to see finally. I realize that we had the hurricane month, all the hurricanes, and they had about 5 diaries came back, and they were all right-wing, nose-picking rednecks, which didn't help us out. But that's going to be really interesting because sooner or later something's going to have to start materializing there to make this whole experiment even marginally worthwhile. Make blowing up the whole damn station over again, at least before noon, worthwhile again, which they keep doing over and over and over. And I will whine and scream and holler about it. You bet your sweet ass. In fact, I'm just like John Kerry, man, with the election. Wimped out. I should never have rolled over and played dead. I just wimped out, and I apologize to myself for doing that. We should have said, who the hell are you kidding? We're going to come on whenever the hell somebody else feels like it? It is unprecedented in the history of this business. There is no other talk show that ever has come on in the history of radio, of broadcasting, that starts in the middle of an hour, whenever, at a different time every day, no less. It just isn't done. It's impossible to maintain any kind of an audience that way. You're sticking it to us, baby. You're screwing us, Greg. You're sticking the old hot poker in there so deep, man, the bottom of my brain is seared from it. Even Brian's ears can't believe it. By the way, the Eaton Center now should be called the Sears Center.
The trends,
Eaton's, huh?
The trends come out the 23rd.
Who told you that?
Somebody.
Who told you that?
Duff Monkey?
What the hell was he doing in there? The dump button monkey? Duff Monkey. Do you hear what he just called him? Oh, my God. I can't believe that. Yeah. And by the way, I don't want to tell you this, Josh.
Duff hates you.
Yeah, because you won't put out. 567-0560, pound 560 on the Verizon and Singular Wireless lines. At least not yet. WQAM, hello.
Neil, what's going on?
How you doing, Pally?
Hey, I hate Greg Neal just as much as any other man, but he's not getting enough credit for his Karl Rove-like move of moving Geldy to hockey when hockey season is on strike.
Yeah, that was good.
Brilliant move.
Mm-hmm.
And Karl Rove wouldn't even think of that himself.
Yeah.
I love you, Neil. Bye.
Oh, that sounded like maybe one of the former QM, well, there's so many of them now. Jeez. Can you imagine? I've been there 7 years now. The turnover, if we just, forgetting about discussion, just named the names, we could go till 2 o'clock just naming the names of the people who have come and gone.
Let's give it a shot.
Or we could just play, yeah, I love this one. I love that sound about it. See, you people at the FCC, the government, and of course a lot of you corporate owners too, like Cheap Channel, you've destroyed what used to be a fun business. It used to be a great business for the people who listened to it, the people who worked in it. It used to be, if you didn't like, because you got about a half a dozen grave-robbing lunatic companies that own every damn radio station in America. And if you don't like Beasley, what are you going to do? Go to work to Cheap Channel? Yeah, you'll see what evil is then, man. Right. So who the hell's kidding whom? So that's why this whole serious, and I'm going to tell you, you know what, it inspires me, because I saved the story from Friday, because probably a lot of people didn't hear the story on Friday. Should all radio be created equal? It's already underway for those who think that, satellite radio, Sirius XM, that's going to be I can hear whatever the hell I want, and they can say all these words. Well, guess what? Guess again.
You're listening to Neil Rogers exclusively on 560 QAM.
You understand the Gestapo keeps track of everyone.
Freedom's dead, let's bury our heads.
I'm dying out here.
Freedom's dead, let's bury our heads. This is the biggest crap I've ever seen. Talk show hosts are fine when it's the that's obscene. Freedom's dead, let's bury our heads. Freedom's dead, let's bury our heads.
12:46, 14 till 1. The website never looked better, Eric. It's a beautiful thing. Nice job, sweetheart. Don't you think it looks great?
Yeah, I think it looks fantastic.
Yeah, and I can scroll down a lot faster there. There's all the, right in the beginning, there's all the headlines of news stories. If you want to check out any of them, just click on them, like the Vice President's proboscis. Actually, I'm serious. That's his battery pack for his pacemaker. It's not what you think it is. In fact, what's her name? Lynn Cheney told me he don't even have one anymore. It's part of that moral values thing, because if you have one of those, God only knows what you're going to be doing with it next. So they just chopped it out. But anyway, the headlines are on there, and then you go right to the poll real quick, and then there's all those neat pictures, and you can click on there and see Jim Rome getting the snot beat out of him by Chris Everett. Jim Everett. And you got Cheney's package, and you got the Alfred E. Bush, and all the other good stuff. Bush's brain, right?
Right.
It's a beautiful thing. Never looked better. Let's keep true. Let's try that for a couple of weeks, okay? And don't forget, tomorrow we start at 9.
Huh?
567-0560, pound 560 on the Verizon and Singular wireless lines. WQAM, hello. WQAM, hello.
Neil.
Yes, sir.
I got 3 points to make.
Number
Let's
one,
start with
numero uno.
Dave Wanstead.
Yeah.
He had an interview. I don't know with who, but they asked him, so you were going to resign, correct? And he said, yeah. And they said, when did you make this decision to resign? And he was like, Ricky Williams screwed me, kind of thing. The second
really?
thing
I
was,
wonder how he liked it.
I know. The second thing was,
don't say that. Fudge Brown will be calling the station pretty soon if we start knocking the Dolphin organization. They're very sensitive.
What do you think of Pittsburgh and New England in the AFC playoff game?
I sure hope the Steelers aren't playing as well then as they did a couple of weeks ago. Boy, they look
that's
awesome.
That's what I see coming, Pittsburgh and New England in the AFC.
Yeah,
One more thing.
Right.
The movie that they're promoting, The National Treasure, you'll get a kick out of it. It's a movie about the Illuminati and the Trilateral Commission. The Trilateral Commission.
Yeah.
That's what that movie's all
Are you
about.
serious?
Yeah, I'm serious.
It's a serious movie about that?
Yeah, it is. Well, it's like an action-adventure kind of thing, but that's what it has to deal with.
The Illuminati and the Bilderbergers and the Trilateral Commission.
Exactly. All right, Neil, gotta
great.
go. Love you, man.
Okay, thanks. I'll be down to see that. Now, is the van still there or not, or don't we care? Shall I just keep mentioning it and then we'll piss off the audience what little we got left and tell them we'll go?
left.
Huh?
Passes are gone.
They're gone. Oh, the passes are gone. Well, that's good. That's a good sign. Somebody went and grabbed it. Now, is that the passes for the movie night or the passes to go shake Dale Jarrett's thing?
The movie passes are gone.
Oh. Well, what about the other thing? They can't get their RSVP to the VIP?
They can get it on another website.
Because they don't want to mention us. We don't want to mention them. Screw them. And not only that, but Josh didn't want to be associated with them under any circumstances ever again. 567-0560, pound 560 in the Verizon and Singular wireless lines. I mean, two can play that game, Greg, okay? We're too low. We're too low. See, Pharrell, that was good. I mean, that was above board. That was real clean and real,
I'll take your children. I'll sell them to some Haitians.
And Stern with all those fart sounds we have to keep dumping out. That's good stuff. But on this state, we're like, we got them booby pictures. See, it's the old booby trap. That's the problem. Because our management gets really nervous about boobies.
Neil.
2 a.m. Yes, sir.
How you doing, buddy? You are
Scott
the best.
Farrell line.
Listen, I got nervous when they got rid of Ashcroft, and I'll tell you why. And I realize now it was not appropriate. I was afraid that Ashcroft was resigning so that he can install him in as one of the judges in the Supreme Court. That would have freaked me out. I would have packed up and moved overseas at that time.
Yeah.
But he can't do that, right? Because Ashcroft was never a judge.
Yeah, but he might join the Supremes. We heard him sing, as the eagle soars. He might have a singing career in his future.
God, he's got to do something besides that singing. He's terrible. The other thing is, unfortunately, I was flicking through the channels before, and I heard you-know-who, Lard Ass, and he was talking about how the problem with the Democrats is they never let go of the past. They don't let go of the past. He's still blaming Clinton for stuff. And Clinton hasn't been in office for 4 years. He's still blaming Clinton for stuff. He's saying that Bush is getting rid of all the Clintonistas. I mean,
And don't
come
forget,
on.
Woodrow Wilson had a bad headache, too, there at the end.
Yeah, absolutely, Neil. And as far as the Dolphins go, if they can wind up above the Jets, that would be like the biggest embarrassment for the Jets. Suck.
That ain't going to happen. There's no chance of that happening. Take it to the bank, pal.
Year.
Trust me. Won't happen.
You're right, and you are God.
Okay, see ya. Not going to happen. They're not going to wind up ahead of the Jets or anybody else in that division or anybody else in the league. They're looking at maybe with a tremendous amount of luck 3-13, maybe. Now, I hear you sniggering in the background there. Why are you doing that? That would be giving them 2 more wins. They've played 9 games and they've lost 8 of them. Okay, the math isn't difficult. They got 7 to go. After San Francisco blew the lead to Carolina yesterday, they had 17-0 lead. And after they wound up losing to a little girls team, at home no less, the 49ers are just as bad as everybody said they were. They suck. But we said the same thing about Zona, and look what they did yesterday.
Right.
Of course, that game is already gone. The Dolphins already blew the game to Zona. So that was one of those games in the possible win zone, but it turned out to be in the loss zone again. Might beat the 49ers. Now that's next week, but out there in San Francisco again, right?
Yes.
Now they got to play the Patriots again, right?
But they're playing Seattle first.
Yeah, they play Seattle next week.
Oh, Seattle. Oh my God. Why not just a forfeit so nobody gets hurt? Huh? Just a forfeit, Wayne, so nobody gets hurt, Mr. H. Come on. And then after they get pounded and just blasted in that game, then they're going to wind up losing in San Francisco. You can be sure of that, because they'll all be like limping. And they got to play the Patriots again, right?
Right.
And they got to play the Bills again. Am I correct about that?
Yes.
And the Jets?
Yep, all the division games.
Right. They still got those to go. So there's no chance they're going to win any of those.
Well, they play Denver.
They're not going to beat Denver. Denver sucks, and they're still not going to beat them.
No,
Aren't we blessed? Aren't we blessed in Florida?
We are. Hey,
I mean,
they got a
Canes
shot.
won.
They got a shot.
The Canes won against the little girls' school finally.
Right.
I have to laugh. There's a story in the paper there about, they got a shot. Their title hopes are alive again. Where are they coming up with that? What kind of acid are they dropping for somebody to write crap like title of what?
ACC.
Oh, please. Cracker, please. They are pathetic. If you take a look at what they've done this year and damn near losing to a bunch of little and again, like I said, this is caca. Who cares about the frickin' Hurricanes, huh? How about those Spartans, baby? There's a real school that kicked Wisconsin's ass. 155 to whatever the hell it was. Just kicked their ass.
How was that Michigan
after blowing an 80-point lead to Michigan 2 weeks earlier. See, it's all a bunch of crap, and you guys are taking it like serious. I don't understand. It's probably the environment you're working in there. So did we finally make a deal there? Have they come in and said, okay, you guys can start at 10 tomorrow?
No. No word yet.
Why not? You see, this is the problem. If my agent would get off the damn line there for the cheeseburgers at Checkers already and get some the show on the road,
Yes, sir.
Boy, who the hell's he servicing on the side in that place? Huh?
Huh?
Can't imagine.
Duh.
Oh, well. Now listen, here's the article from Friday, which a lot of you probably missed because you were busy diddling around. Saul Levine's Mount Wilson FM Broadcasters has petitioned the FCC, the unctuous, the obnoxious, the unacceptable FCC, to include an indecency provision in the rules that govern satellite radio.
Oh, my God.
That's right. You heard right, Granny. Levine's argument is that, and speaking of grannies and old fags, by the way, I did mention this to you before the show, but I'll mention it again. Don't let me forget, Josh, when George is there tomorrow to mention it again.
Okay.
Yesterday at Woodbine, I hit 5 times, Wheel of Fortune 5 times on the dollar machine. $4,000. 4,000 big ones, baby. And some woman just to make me feel at home behind me because everybody, when you hit a jackpot, they all go, oh, how much is that? How much? She said, oh, is that 4,000 pesos? She actually said that. Miguel said, is that 4,000 pesos?
Pesos.
Yeah, pesos. I turned around and I said, hey, Spick. Levine's argument is that satellite radio is not heard exclusively by subscribers and that it should be subject to the same rules as terrestrial radio, which you're listening to right now with that scratchy, awful signal. The key is to have a level playing field, Levine told FMQB, a trade publication, in case you ain't familiar, which you ought to be by now. The FCC has the authority to regulate satellite radio. In fact, already does regulate it in two respects. The EEO requirements that apply to radio stations also apply to satellite radio, and the rules on political broadcasts also apply to both. The FCC said back in 97, when it authorized satellite radio, that they would revisit at a later time additional regulations. Levine noted he's not trying to curb Howard Stern or anybody in particular. We're just saying that whatever rules apply to us should apply to them too. They hit us, we hit them back. He continued, their defense is that they're 100% subscription, therefore only people who want to hear obscene language will hear it, but they're not 100% subscription. They make it available to car rentals without any charge, and there are no controls on it. Families rent cars. They can pick it up. It's a misconception that satellite radio is subscription radio. It's not true. The FCC said they can sell advertising or have subscriptions. They can do either. So it's not subscription only. It's not 100% commercial free. It's going to be available to minors. So the bottom line is we're not trying to impose any censorship on satellite radio that doesn't already exist on terrestrial radio, Saul Levine said. Saul Levine.
Ahoy!
His petition was filed November 5 and asked that the FCC open a notice of proposed rulemaking that would mandate that no satcaster shall transmit any material which is obscene and that indecent material should be prohibited between 6 a.m. and 10 p.m. Just as within terrestrial radio, it could take 3 months to a year before the FCC will rule on the petition, Levine said. But I would bet with the current climate in the country and the current bunch of Nazis running it, sooner rather than later.
You're listening to Neil Rogers exclusively on 560 QAM.
His record they tried to trash. Supporters left in a flash. They did the George Bush bash. From a tiny little office in the White House wing east, he pondered terrorism and Middle East peace. He thought of John Kerry grabbing more votes, then thought of grabbing Kerry by the throat. The Democrats. They did the George Bush bash.
Smells so bad. But anyway... Rudy Kisher wants to help those Americans who have the post-election blues after Bush's second-term stolen victory. The Vancouver, British Columbia immigration lawyer plans seminars in 3 U.S. cities, Seattle, San Francisco, and Los Angeles, to tell Americans frustrated with Bush's re-election that the grass is greener north of the border. And that's not just an allusion to Canada's lenient marijuana laws. We started last year getting a lot of calls from Americans dissatisfied with the way the country is going, Kisher said. Then after the election, it's been crazy up here. The Canadian immigration website had 115,000 hits the day after the election from the U.S. alone. We usually only get about 20,000. There was so much interest that a Vancouver-based internet company, Communicopia, set up a new website this month, CanadianAlternative.com. You got it? CanadianAlternative.com. We ought to put a link on our website.
All right.
CanadianAlternative.com to suggest Canada is a viable option for its American clients, including anyone concerned about constitutional bans on gay marriage passed in 11 U.S. states this month. We invite you to get to know Canada, the site says, explore the richness and diversity of our regions, and find out why Canada is the perfect alternative for conscientious, forward-thinking Americans, eh? Another website urges Canadians, open your heart and your home, marry an American. Legions of Canadians have already pledged to sacrifice their singlehood and to save our southern neighbors from 4 more years of cowboy conservatism. Canada suddenly has utopian appeal for many left-leaning Americans. Its universal health care, gay rights, abortion rights, gun control laws, drug laws, opposition to the war in Iraq, ban on capital punishment, and ethnic diversity mirror many values of the American left. Immigrants, including an estimated 1 million Americans, make up nearly 20% of Canada's population. The UN named Toronto the world's most multicultural city, like I said, and some of them smell pretty funky. And as Michael Moore pointed out, in Bowling for Columbine required viewing for many lefties. In Canada, there's apparently no reason to lock your door. On the other hand, it's cold. The baseball's not very good. So long Expos, and the taxes are higher, eh? That's actually what it says here, eh? But as one American who has lost his bags, who has his bags nearly packed likes to say, at least the taxes go toward good causes. I just like their way of life a lot better, and with everything the Bush administration has done for the American people to give them their seal of approval, it's basically the last straw, says Ralph Eppolt, a resident of Portland in Oregon, a state that narrowly supported Kerry. Canada's basic population is much more intelligent, polite, and civilized, he said, and he's correct about that. I like their way of government a lot better. Their tax dollars go to helping those who need it, instead of funneling money back to the wealthy and feeding this huge military-industrial machine to go out and kill a bunch of people. Apple, 50, a sales manager and his wife, a nurse, figure that selling their house and getting their immigration approved could take more than a year. But they're moving, they insist. They've already hired Kisher to help them. Though he sees many a good business opportunity following the election, Kisher has no illusions of a mass American exodus to Canada. Americans have to follow the same procedures as everybody else, including the $500 application fee, $975 landing tax, and the wait of 6 months to 2 years. He only expects about 100 people at each of the How to Move to Canada seminars, all scheduled in Democratic leading areas, December 4th in Seattle, December 5th in LA, and December 6th in San Francisco. Nancy Bray, spokeswoman for Citizenship and Immigration Canada, said her agency's website received 261,000 hits from the U.S. in the 2 days following the election, but it'll be many months before officials can guess how many of them were serious. We strongly encourage Americans to stay and build a culture in line with their values. In other words, stay and fight, said James Mogus, Communicopia's chief executive. In other words, we'd like to have you here, but stay there where you are. Don't bring your stupidity here, okay, please? Don't import your ignorance. Now, although we do have Jerry Springer. What?
Who doesn't?
Well, nobody from America is going to come here if they can't watch Jerry Springer.
That's true.
Peggy, faithful female on Chronic Facts, says, Dear Neil, what criteria are needed to fill out the TREAD survey? The TREAD survey.
Yeah,
I've been in Miami my whole life and never received such a, what is that?
I don't know. I was hoping you'd tell me.
The TREAD survey. Don't tread on us, Peggy. I have no idea do I need to sign somewhere to receive this survey? What are you talking about, Peggy? Even Richard Dawson knows our survey don't say that. What is she talking about? What criteria I need to fill out the TREAD survey? Peggy, I think the election is having an effect on your mind, sweetheart. Good luck to you. Get some help. Oh, and speaking of our website, you will be thrilled to know that one of our news stories today already, as of 1 o'clock, had 1,640 reads already. Now, that's the good news. The bad news is, which one of those stories do you think it is?
The Dick Cheney story.
There you go. Good guess. 1,640 reads by 1 o'clock in the afternoon because they want to see the vice presidential package. That's what they want to see. And I'm telling you, it's only a battery package for that pacemaker. Or maybe it's his colostomy bag. Who the hell knows what it is? I don't believe for a minute. Not for a second. Because if that's what it really were, Lynn Cheney wouldn't be walking around with such a sour look on her puss all the time. Ever notice she's always got that nasty, she's a bitch. She is one miserable, nasty bitch. 567. Oh, kind of tough on the second lady, aren't you? Yeah. WQAM, hello.
Hi.
WQAM, hello.
Neil.
Yes, sir.
Hey, don't you think Mark Garricos looks like Vincent Price in the House of Wax?
No. I like Vincent Price. That's the difference. Yeah, a little bit.
Okay, that's it.
Yeah, wax. That's the word for him, Mark Garricos. He's slimy. He's real creepy and slimy looking. He looks like a real snake oil salesman. Lawyer. I bet you he don't, in fact, you know something where he was when they were handing down the Scott Peterson verdict? You're gonna pass out when you hear this. He was at the drive-thru at Checkers.
Oh!
Yeah.
Getting that pizza
I'll have
burger?
2 pizza burgers and 2 medium Cokes.
And I wonder why my life is flashing before my eyes, you know what? Pop had Jenko, look what I got. WQAM, hello.
Hey, Neil.
Yes, sir.
Did you catch either one of the programs on Sundance Channel yesterday afternoon? It's either called The Brain of Bush or The Mind of Bush about Karl Rove?
No. Brain of Bush must be a program based on a book, because that's a book.
It was an excellent program, and also right after that was a program about the 2000 election and the way they stole that one.
Right. Well, it's a little late now, man. I mean, we can wring our hands and gnash our teeth, and it's a little bit late now.
No, I know.
All we do is roll over and play dead. You know, I thought Kerry, don't you remember before the election that Kerry said that unlike Al Gore, he was going to make sure that every vote was counted, every vote counted, all this other crap. And, they wimped out.
No. Okay. If you get a chance, I don't know if you get Sundance up there, but if you do, They were both excellent programs.
I'll go to Buffalo and check it out.
Thanks, Neil.
Thanks, pal. In between bowling, I do want to go to Don Carter Lanes. Is Don Carter dead or what?
No, they're around.
No, I don't mean the bowling alley. I mean Don Carter the bowler. See, you're not old enough to know who Don Carter was.
No way. started a couple bowling alleys. Huh?
Back in the days when people, no, more than a couple, when people used to actually watch bowling on television, it was very popular, championship bowling, and there were like all these guys, Buddy Bomar and Eddie Kowalix and Thurman Gibson and Carmen Salvino and Don Carter, who had a very unusual way of bowling. He would pull a ball, I don't know how to describe it, he would like shovel the ball ahead. He was a great bowler, Don Carter. See, and you probably just, Don Carter Lanesby, and you know there was such a person as Don Carter, huh?
Now, there was a time where bowling was popular on television?
Yeah.
Really?
Well, let me ask you this. What would you rather watch? Would you, if you had to watch one or the other, would you rather watch bowling or golf?
I guess bowling.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not saying that I would watch either one of them, but I mean, if you absolutely had to. Billy, what the hell was his name? Ray Bluth. And Billy Whaley. Oh, where are all these names coming from? I bet you even Buzz Fazio. And Carmen Salvino. And from Syracuse, New York, the old lefty, Marty Pirino. Oh, what a memory I have for crap, This is scary, when you get to be this old and you can still remember. I remember things from a zillion years ago, but nothing important. You know what I mean? All crap.
That's how it goes.
All crap. Names of people that I couldn't care less about. 12 minutes after 1 at 5:60. Oh, I never got to that fax I got this morning, which I'll get to it. He's got a couple of cute points in there. He also says, since it seems to be, the new thing is to offer you birthday wishes and condolences or congratulations long after the fact. Congratulations on your third year in the market, and sorry to hear about Tiny. Oh. Yeah, I'm sorry about Tiny, too, but that's another story. 12 minutes after 1 at 5:60 WQM. It began with the original Bose Wave radio way back in 1993. Popular Science called it a sonic marvel, and now Bose has engineered it to a whole new standard. Introducing the new Bose Wave music system that reproduces a half-octave lower musical notes plus even greater instrument clarity and definition. The sleek new design features no buttons either. A convenient credit card-style remote now controls all functions on the Bose, including FM/AM radio and new slot-loaded CD player. So call Bose directly if you want to hear sound like you've never heard it before. 1-800-560-4832 to order what David Novak, the gadget guy, calls an item that can easily replace whatever component system you currently have. Order today and shipping is free. 1-800-560-4832. And when you call, be sure to ask about the new Bose payment plan that lets you make convenient monthly payments using your own major credit card with no interest from Bose. A risk-free trial guarantees your satisfaction. So call right now to hear an amazing sound, the new Bose Wave music system, a great gift idea for the holidays, too. 1-800-560-4832. That's 1-800-560-4832.
You're listening to Neil Rogers exclusively on 560 QAM.
Another tale from the cell phone of Dick Cheney. Today, Dick dials celebrity biographer Kitty Kelly.
Hello?
Yes, hello. Kitty Kelly, please.
Speaking.
Yes, Kitty, this is Dick Cheney, Vice President of the United States of America. How are you?
Fine.
That's good. That's nice.
Is there something I can help you with?
Yes. It's just that book that's coming out next week that you wrote. Frankly, we question its credibility, and I was wondering if maybe you could wait a couple of months before actually putting it out.
I'm sorry, my phone is breaking up. Did you just ask me not to print the book until after the election?
Yes. After George Bush gets reelected, print all you want. We won't care then.
Why would I want to do that? Hello?
Money grubbing
What?
Liar!
Oh, my...
If your book's released, the terrorists win!
Huh?
You're messing with the President of the United States of America!
Okay, I'm hanging up now.
We know where you live, you dumb bitch!
Okay.
That's right, we'll get your little dog Toto, too!
Bye-bye.
What's wrong with you? Hello? Hello?
This has been another tale from the cell phone of Dick Cheney.
Almost 1,700 people have read it. I want to get to 2,000 before 2 o'clock. If you haven't checked that story on our website, Overexposed, check the vice presidential package here. What?
I just said do it.
Yeah, do it. We want to get to 2,000 by 2. Not for any particular reason, just for fun. Oh, and, Norman Bates, the interim coach of the Dolphins, who thinks he's the new coach but certainly won't be, he says A.J. Feely's going to be the starting quarterback. He's his man.
Well, can't go any worse.
Yeah. Sounds kind of anti-semantic to me, Controversy over anti-war song brings Secret Service to Boulder High School.
Oh, my
Oh,
God.
yeah, Zion America, baby, and you wonder why they're flocking across the border. They're swimming across Lake Ontario from Fairport right now. Bob Dylan's Masters of War is a hard-hitting anti-war song produced more than 20 years before any current Boulder High School student was born. More than 40 years after its release, the song has been resurrected at Boulder High with huge and confusing repercussions that prompted Secret Service agents to pay the campus a visit last Thursday. Holy crap. Some students and parents apparently let the Secret Service and talk radio stations know they were unhappy with the plan of a trio of students to do a poetry reading of the song, accompanied by background music, according to Ron Cabrera, the school's principal. Rumors were rampant that during an audition and rehearsal for the talent show, the students changed Dylan's powerful last verse at the end of the song to say that they hoped President Bush was going to die. The last verse begins, and I hope that you die and your death will come soon. Secret Service agents interviewed Cabrera on Thursday to determine what all the uproar was about, whether any threats were being made against the president's life. They were following up and doing their due diligence, Cabrera said of the agent's visit. They had been receiving calls from the community, and of course the talk show felt like they had heard the students inciting physical harm to the president. Cabrera said he talked to the students and teachers who had been working with him and was told the group, which calls itself the Coalition of the Willing, made no reference to Bush. I don't know why it surfaced, Cabrera said, the complaints. I think they're surprised by all the allegations. Cabrera said he also showed the agents the lyrics of the entire song. The agents appeared to have left satisfied that no bona fide threat was being directed at the president, he said. The principal said the students' performance of the song at the talent show upholds their rights to express themselves. Oh, forget about that. That's ancient history, that right. And he did not think it was inappropriate in a campus setting. A Secret Service spokesman could not be reached for comment. Cabrera acknowledged the group did consider at one time naming itself the Taliban. A teacher persuaded the teens to drop the title because it was offensive, he said. The Taliban. That's cute. Think that's cute?
Yeah, it's pretty good.
The Taliban. Kinds of rhymes with Pally. Hey, Pally Band. How about the Pally Band, huh? I know who can be the lead singer.
Hiya, Pally!
He'll sing for his supper and his breakfast and his lunch and all the in-between snacks, too. 5670560. Didn't have any women call today, did we? No.
No.
I'm not going to just sit back and take leftovers anymore. This whole deal about the Stern thing and about what's going on here, this isn't just going to fly. You see, they think that, we'll just, just take the money and we'll just, everybody's going to keep quiet and put up with their crap until they figure out what to do next when the next shoe drops. Well, guess what? That ain't going to happen, Pops. Okay? Pops Reed. That ain't going to happen no more. Because you've made too many phony deals with too many people, too many conflicting deals, just like that thing they had with Mo. See, one thing about Mo, you can say whatever you want about Mo, but he must have a real agent, a real lawyer, and he must be a real hellraiser, which we know that he is. Because he don't sit back and take crap. Remember when they moved his hours there from 6 to 9 until 5 to 8?
Uh-huh.
Well, guess what? You notice that didn't sit very long. And remember when George sent me up those emails?
Yeah.
Yeah, and somebody almost got his ass fired because somebody was ranting and raving like crazy, even though everybody there was lying to me about it wasn't him, but then he later admitted it was him, right to my face, because they lie a lot. Well, guess what? That's the only way you're going to get the wheel to squeak at all in that place is to grease it, baby, to grease it big time. That's what Duff told me. He says if you want to move it, grease it. And that's why I'm here. I ran like hell when he said that. Here's the facts. Well, let's take a couple of calls, and we'll get to this fax. It's funny because this fax came in before the show. And I was going to use it real early, but that's nothing like earth-shaking. Oh, and Bob Jones. Oh, brother, talk about crazy goyim. Sees the Bush victory as a reprieve. Bob Jones, the turd.
You turd.
President of the fundamentalist college that bears his name has told President Bush he should use his electoral mandate to appoint conservative judges and approve legislation defined by biblical norm. In your re-election, God has graciously granted America, though she doesn't deserve it, a reprieve from the agenda of paganism, Jones wrote Bush, in a congratulatory letter posted on the university's website. This is the same Bob Jones, of course, who told everybody that Catholics are a bunch of whatever the hell they are. Not to mention, of course, Alan Keyes, who says that all those dykes are a bunch of hedonistic perverts, including Dick Cheney's bull-dyke daughter. WQAM, hello.
Hi.
Yes, ma'am.
Just want to call and say I love the show.
Thank you.
I just listen to it every day. I don't get anything done between either 10 and 2 or 11 and 2. It's great.
Well, what do you think about that 10 o'clock? Do you think we should just draw the line in the sand? What do you think we ought to do?
I think you ought to go on at 10 and just give us another great hour.
Okay. Starts tomorrow.
Wonderful. I'll be there.
Thanks. Have a great
Thanks.
day. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Starts tomorrow at a radio station near you. 10 to 2. That's the hours for this show.
Should have did that as a poll.
What?
See what the people think.
Well, we've already done that. Boy, you sure you must have Alzheimer's. How many times have we done that?
About 30, man.
Well, we'll do it again tomorrow to make you happy.
All right.
How we saw it. No, we have a problem now. See, I was willing to sit back, be cooperative. We'll see how the hell this thing worked out. But now, when somebody comes in this morning, some on the mysterious voice, and passes along info that Stern's going to be away all next week, meaning they think I'm going to come on at 10 o'clock. Either we come on at 10 o'clock all the time, or we don't come on at 10 o'clock anytime. That's the way to do it. I mean, who ever heard of any kind of show, radio show, TV, shortwave, shows that show up on your pop-up toaster that start at whenever the hell they feel like, at a different time all the time? Like everybody's got their own personal psychic. Oh, Neil's on now, you know.
Tune in at a different time every day.
And especially the poll that we took that proved beyond a shadow of a doubt that 70% of the audience doesn't listen to Stern. I mean, it would be great if 100% of the audience all listened to Stern. Then everything would be fine. It would be,
we're fine.
No
You can
problem.
deal with it for an hour.
Huh?
Just tune in at 10, stick around, and when you come on, you come on. Forced listenership.
They don't want to hear it. Don't you understand?
Too bad.
In fact, quite
You can hear
frankly,
it anyways.
I don't want to hear it. And guess what? I happen to know you don't listen to it either.
I listen to it.
No, you don't. You listen to Stern? Since when? Boy, are you a
Since
suck-up or
August
what?
16th.
Yo, what a suck-up, man. Wow,
Well,
wow.
what else am I gonna listen to?
I thought since Doreen left there, you might grow a little bit of a pair or something, but it didn't happen. Since you didn't have some bitch browbeating you and chasing you up and down the hall. Well, why even go into it? It's embarrassing.
I always listen to our morning shows.
Do, 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 do.
Didn't like to hear you on at 9 o'clock, though. That was way too early to hear you.
Up yours. What scares you most about another 4 years of George W. Bush? That's the poll. 784 votes. Loss of freedoms, 253. Supreme Court appointments, 211. See that tremendous relationship there, side by each. More wars, 112. Nothing, it'll be fine, 81. 11.5% of you idiots out there. Oh, everything's fine. We're optimistic. The draft, 37, and terrorist attacks, 10. 26 after 1 at 560 WQM. Emerald Coast is South Florida's best Asian buffet. And now look at this. It says on here that the end date for this copy is October 29. Who's screwing up this account now? This must be Skippy.
You won't see him no more.
No, what do you mean by that? Is he gone?
Yeah.
Skippy is canned?
No, he went to TV.
Skippy is gone. I didn't even realize that. Well, so now we have nobody servicing Emerald Coast. I don't know what to say here because I don't want to do Lobster Fest if it's not continuing in November. This copy ended October 29 about Lobster Fest.
Well, then we got to find out who's the new guy.
Huh? Well, what is that going to do for me right now in the next 60 seconds or less?
Wing it.
Oh, my God. Lobster bisque and Jonah Stone crab and roasted duck and grilled. Yeah, all of those things were going on during Lobster Fest. So go in there yourself for Emerald Coast and find out what the Lobster Fest is still going on. Say to Richard, hey, listen, we know you're not paying any attention to hockey right now because they're not playing any. He's a big Leafs fan. But we'd like to know what's going on here, and so would Neil. You'll love the Emerald Coast because the service is impeccable. They give you a fantastic feast. 6 different kinds of soups, dozens of great delicious entrees like New York strip made to order, grilled salmon, hand-carved prime rib cooked to order just the way you like it. All kinds of new Thai specialties, too. And the best part of the Emerald Coast, not only they give you so much great delicious food at a very reasonable price, but you'll never walk out of there with a headache, just a full stomach, because they don't use any crap. They cook only with the best ingredients, cholesterol-free oils, no MSG, no cornstarch, no crap. You'll find a full salad bar, a full Chinese food lineup, and a brand new sushi bar, too. And after all of these things, you have still any room left in your pupik. They have a fantastic dessert station featuring Belgian waffles and pies and cakes, pastries, ice cream with all your favorite toppings, even fresh fruit. Usually be having some watermelon waiting for you there, too. 3 Emerald Coast locations for you. This is unbelievable, the fact that, talk about schlock. Radio Schlock, you locked into it, baby. Give us the lock at Radio Schlock. Man, talk about servicing our fine accounts. How many years they been out with me, Emerald Coast?
About 30, man.
3 locations for you. They're in Sunrise, Sunny Isles, and Pembroke Pines. So take the whole family for a really enjoyable feast or book your next business luncheon right now. Takeout and delivery always available, too. Emerald Coast was voted number 1 by Zagat Restaurant Reviews and WSVN News as South Florida's best Asian buffet, and believe me, you try once and you'll agree. It is a feast. Call them at 954-572-3822. 954-572-3822. And be sure and tell them that Skippy sent you to the Emerald Coast Chinese Buffet.
You're listening to Neil Rogers exclusively on 560 QAM.
You drudge packing?
Welcome back to hour 19 of the Al Franken Show. I'm Al Franken.
And I'm Catherine Lanford.
Now, it's been brought to my attention that I don't know how to do a radio show. Well, let me assure you that this is cutting-edge radio. And to illustrate what I refer to as theater of the mind, we have for you today a new Robert Smigel cartoon. Always a panic. Could you roll that for us, please? Yes. Oh, look at that. Now, this is hilarious, ladies and gentlemen. I can't stress enough how funny and entertaining this can be. It's over. I thank you for that. I thoroughly enjoyed it, and I'm certain our audience did as well. Now, do we have a break? Is this a weak break or a strong break? Yeah, another weak break? Yeah, okay. When we come back, we'll be joined by TV legend Soupy Sales, who will engage us in a pie fight.
26 till 2 at 560 WQM. Happy Monday to you. Here's Cindy, who says, I'm one of your few female listeners. How many we got, Cindy?
About 30, man.
But I just wanted to say that I absolutely agree with you about having your show start right at 10. We're going to do a poll on that tomorrow. We're going to get this all weeded out, especially before next week comes in, that whole Stern on vacation thing next week. That you talk about a slap in the face. In other words, you sit there and dummy up until Stern gets done, the Howard Meister, and then you can come on with your silly-ass show. But if he doesn't happen to be there, you're supposed to be on at 10. That's basically what this deal boils down to. And if I had like a real agent instead of some limp-wristed pizza burger eating clown. Anyway, Cindy says, your show should start at 10. I finally got a job where I can listen to you each day. It drives me crazy wondering when Howard will finish. Well, you can imagine how we feel, Cindy. On another note, when you get back to town, if ever, I'd love to take you for pizza at the Pizza Loft so I can speak with someone who's got something interesting to say. You're the best. Well, thanks for the offer, Cindy, but I don't know. Pizza Loft, will we hear from him anymore?
No.
What's the name of that place? Pizza what? Yeah, I don't, I like Tony's a lot, you know. They got great stuff. Who's bringing you guys food lately?
Oh, we've been doing the Howie's thing.
Yeah, well, Howie's is great. I don't want to, like, diminish their, how well they've treated us and everything, but you need to get, like, a little variety in there.
Oh, we do. Try to mix it up.
Yeah. Like Atlantic City Subs, maybe?
AC or Tony's. Brad, good guy.
Brad over at Tony's. Brad is great. You know, Brad doesn't call in on the show. He doesn't whore the show. He's just a great guy. He just wants to feed us. And once in a while we give him a little plug, and that keeps him very happy. And that's it. Here's the facts that we got early before. Oh, and you'll be pleased to know, I think I solved the dilemma. The people who read our website or look at it, they're USA Today crowd. They want some color pictures on there. 1,835. I don't think we will make 2,000 on the Cheney pick on the story overexposed by 2 o'clock. We'll make it. You think that in the history of our website we've ever had 2,000 people, even during an entire day, read any story we've had on there?
No.
No. I have no way of knowing that, but I would gravely doubt that. Seriously doubt it. So they want to see like, a little flash, a little something, man. They want to see boobies. They want to see packages, even one that might explode in their face. Yeah, that's what they want to see. So we'll get to 2,000 on that. So that's where we need to be more creative. But the website right now looks better. I think we're moving in the right direction now that we got Eric off his big fat lazy ass. Just a joke, Eric. Don't get all up to you're great. You're sensational. We love you. You're very temperamental and emotional. You got a very, very thin skin for a fat guy like you. Very thin-skinned. Here's the facts, and unsigned too, I notice. Hope you see this even though I'm sending it before your show. I work in it's about Castronova. Why am I reading this? And he's doing a real commercial. The Uncle Funny's on State Road 84 near Pine Island is now a sports bar going by that name, Sofa King. I heard the ad on Zeta several times, and my first reaction was the irony of something like this airing on a Clear Channel station, but I guess money talks. They're assuming that since Stern is gone, the monitors are no longer listening out there, the evildoers. And it goes on about this, and it says, how come if it's okay to use the Sofa King bit as a commercial. It says, maybe Joyce will let you start playing fart sounds during your live spot. No fart sounds. And then she's also got a thing here about Jeff Cohen. See, they just can't get that idea out of their minds already. Jeff Cohen's ancient history. And the same with Skippy, who used to be his AE, by the way. Remember that?
Mm-hmm.
How ironic that Screw-Ann disappears. She gets the axe. Now, did Skippy leave before or after she got canned? I guess afterward, right?
After.
Uh-huh. You think that's a coincidence?
No.
No. Well, I guess I did know. He couldn't have been there for any other reason, not because he had any idea. So not only was it
Troy,
but also Skippy. And of course we know about
Roy.
Man. She probably had to take some time off to recuperate. Heal up all her wounds. Her war wounds. Presbyterian churches in the United States have been put on high alert after a letter received at the church's Louisville headquarters threatened arson attacks because of the church's policy toward the Middle East. A church spokesman said the letter threatened to set churches on fire while people inside... Oh, I see. Set the churches on fire while people were inside. This is very poorly written. In retaliation for anti-Israel and anti-Jewish attitudes. The spokesman said the letter had no return address but was postmarked Queens, New York. The church's General Assembly decided in June to begin the process of selective divestment from corporations supporting the Israeli occupation of Gaza and the West Bank. An FBI spokesman said the agency is investigating the letter with help from the Bureau of ATF. How do you like that? They threatened to set them on fire with people inside in retaliation for anti-Israel, anti-Jewish attitudes. You know what? I think the letter writer had a point. Don't you? And Bob Jones III, he's against everybody except his own flock there in Greensville, South Carolina. He says, you've been given a mandate. Put your agenda on the front burner and let it boil. You owe the liberals nothing. They despise you because they despise your Christ, said the letter dated November 3rd. So any Christian out there, anybody who believes that fairy tales about Christ, Bob Jones says, well, forget about that. You're not part of our crowd, our clan. Jonathan Pate, spokesman for the university, said the letter was placed on the school's website because Jones had read it to students in chapel and many had told their parents about it. He said last Thursday Jones had not received a response from the White House. Pate said it would be a misreading of the letter to think that everyone who voted for the Democrats is a pagan or that if you voted for John Kerry, a despiser of Christ. For example, there are those who voted for John Kerry because they opposed the war in Iraq, Pate said. Dr. Jones did not intend to paint everyone with that broad a brush. See, they're only trying to cover their tracks in their ass after this got out. Because one thing about Bob Jones University, man, they may not be good, but they're consistent. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You understand the Gestapo keeps track of everyone.
Exactly.
You're listening to Neil Rogers exclusively on 560 QAM.
A lollipop, little boy?
No.
How may I be helping you today? Hey. Would you please be having a blue Slurpee? We are having a sale on Camels. We have had about many flavors. I'm afraid that is not decent. R-A-G-G-A-G-A-D-A. Okay, I'll tell you everything. My skin may be brown, but inside I'm pink. Yes, it's true, we put our women in bags. It is only because they smell so bad. You can blame a group reactions of a group, but we do not drink our wee-wee. It smell like our poop. Let's start making fun of me. Let's shave off my beard, make my face clean. Raghead. If you excuse me now, I'm ready to sing. R-A-G-G-A-K-E-D. Raghead, ah-la-la-la. Raghead, ah-la-la-la. Raghead, ah-la-la-la. Raghead, ah-la-la-la. Raghead, ah-la-la-la. R-A-G-G-A-G-A-D. Raghead.
146, 1402. We're going to make it, I think. 1,910 views of the Dick Cheney photo, overexposed. All he's doing is getting like a little soft serve. 1910, that was as of 20 of, so we can easily do that by 2 o'clock. You think? No problem.
Yeah, no problem.
Hands down your pants. Speaking of that, airport x-ray sees through clothing. Boy, I sure hope they don't try this out on the vice president. A new x-ray machine at London's Heathrow Airport, which sees through passengers' clothing, has been attacked by civil liberties campaigners as a voyeur's charter. The machine uses low-level radiation to see through clothing, producing an anatomically detailed black and white image of the body underneath.
Great job.
Huh?
It's a great
now,
job.
I was just going to play something, and then I realized I can't even play it. Where she says, you call that a... We can't even say that word anymore. The P word. Joyce, you're such a childish, uptight bitch, man. You are so, how do we even do a show under these restrictions, you know? It's ridiculous. Because Duff told me Joyce, and also he's very concerned with that word.
Joyce!
He's obsessed with it. Capable of detecting solid objects concealed under clothing, it started a 4-month trial in October. Randomly picked passengers are asked if they'll volunteer. See, they're not going to do this like force it on you yet. If you volunteer to be scanned by the machine. Of course, if you volunteer, then one would have to assume you're carrying a lot of objects that you want to conceal. What a crock. I stood in front of the screen and they took 3 pictures in different positions, said passenger Pernille Nielsen. I don't mind if the pictures are a little more personal, as long as I'm safe in the air. That's what matters, she told Reuters. Another passenger, Marie Love, said, it's all about being safe and I really have no problem with it. A spokesman for BAA Heathrow said 98% of participants gave positive feedback, but British civil rights group called Liberty called the X-ray images unjustified and intrusive. You call that a... We obviously do not object to taking security measures, but I remain totally unconvinced that it's necessary, a spokesman said. To justify the intrusion, the airport should show current detectors are inadequate, he added. It's an obvious invasion of people's privacy. It's a voyeur's charter. Yeah, they just want to see, some big boobs and some packages and, and laugh at people. Right?
Yeah, what's the harm in that?
Right. Of course, who wants to see a bunch of saggy boobs? I mean, most of the women are seen over there in England. Ever see a British woman with hot boobs? Very seldom. Beyonce? She British?
No.
They're not British? Come on.
Beyonce?
Yeah, Beyonce is a Bowles.
Elizabeth
That's
Hurley.
Chester Bowles.
Yeah, Elizabeth Hurley, very nice.
Hurley?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Beyonce, just because she's black doesn't mean that they couldn't be British.
But she's definitely not.
She's not British, though.
Well, I just said she was, okay?
All right,
Okay.
now she's British.
Okay. Brit rhymes with twit. The American Transport Security Administration, which is considered using the machines at U.S. airports, echoed Liberty's concerns. There are a number of privacy issues that need to be addressed before we would do field tests. That's with a D on the end. Field test, a spokeswoman said. Scanners currently looking for concealed weapons or explosives on passengers have shown limitations in the past. Traditional X-ray machines used to scan baggage have often struggled to identify plastic explosives, accidentally sounding alarms when detecting chocolate, cheese, and peanut butter because of their similarly dense nature to the explosive Semtex. Heathrow, which for security reasons declined to say how the new X-ray machine improves on current scanners, denies the machine could cause embarrassment. It's very low-dose X-ray. The images are not stored. It's same-sex operated, and the operator that sees the image will not see the person, said the airport spokeswoman. Yeah, but what about if you walk through there and all of a sudden you hear, like, in the back, like a chorus of that, huh? Even though maybe they don't know which one it was, supposedly, huh? You walk through the scanner like, oh my God, did you see that thing? Holy cow, that's like, you know what I'm saying? Not something I'm subjecting myself to this week. 5670560. Got a long story here, but it's very depressing about all the city lying in ruins in Fallujah and about the rubble and the dead bodies and the body parts. They can't tell you how many dead civilians there are because they got like body parts all over the city and just in the midst of the rubble. And people are going to go eventually try to go home to where their homes used to be. Are going to find, oh, not there no more. No house. No possessions. I ain't got no body. That's what they're singing in the streets of Fallujah. But it was a great operation, baby. Oh! It was wonderful. It was Operation Iraqi Freedom Part 2. Oh! Yeah. And they're saying, oh, those elections in January. Forget about that.
You're listening to Neil Rogers exclusively on 560 QAM.
This is Larry King, and they don't come any better than Neil Rogers.
I supported Bush after that tragic day, and to my surprise, disgust and shame, he let the sorties in Bin Laden get away, and shifted the blame to Saddam Hussein.
We got Iraq.
We're occupying Iraq.
Hey, how about that?
They're not the ones to attack.
No big contracts.
What's going on with this
We
crap?
got Iraq.
We're occupying Iraq. Defense contractors are having fun. As we spread freedom at the point of a gun. The blood money profits have only just begun for KBR, GE, and Halliburton. Needlessly sending our kids to die. And the drooling mugwumps still support this guy. An advanced stage of syphilis must be the reason why they believe George Bush is Jesus Christ. We're occupying Iraq.
Hey, how about that?
They're not the ones who attack.
Big contract.
What's going on with this
We
crap?
got Iraq.
We're occupying Iraq. Boy, George, why do you take so many vacations?
You know, it's hard work. It's hard work. Everybody knows it's hard work. We've done a lot of hard work. I see on the TV screens how hard it is. Yeah, Abu Ghraib.
Yeah, it's hard to say it, too. It's hard to even just speak in English language is sometimes hard work, especially when you're illiterate. It's about 3:30 till 2. Mad Dog coming along at 2 o'clock. He's going to, blow off some steam about that Dolphin team bus and about Harvey Green and Fudge Brown and all this other cockery, you know. Very uptight organization, and, of course, that's even when they're winning, like in the past. Remember those days?
No.
Well, I mean, way back when, back in the day. No, seriously, even when they had winning seasons, it was like, In fact, way back in the old IOD days, you know, you'd have a press pass to go in there, and you go in a stadium, it's like when the Marlins are playing, not too bad. You know, they're a little more, even when back in the John Henry day. But with the Dolphin thing, it's like the Gestapo, man. I mean, they grill you, and where are you going, and who are you, and all this other crap, you know?
How do you know?
'Cause I used to go back in those days. What are you talking about? I used to be a season ticket holder that I spent my own money, man. What are you talking
When was
about?
the last time you went to a game?
Several years ago, until I finally decided it was a bunch of crap.
The Mandich was still playing back then.
831 votes. Don't be sucking up to Mandich, okay? He knows all about you. As a matter of fact, I noticed we need another 24, by the way. In the next 3 minutes, we'll never make it. Well, in the next last 10 minutes, we got a shot. But I noticed there's a thing on there for the QAM for the store, you know, to order like the best stuff. Why is that still on there?
I don't know.
You can still
We'll have
order
to
it.
take that off.
Why, do we still have the CDs and the keychains?
Yeah.
We do?
Yeah.
Well, I think that's a good idea. Let's get the new thing going.
Okay.
All the stuff, not all of it, but a lot of the stuff that we can't play on the air anymore, speaking of Sofa King,
Well, that's
and so
old
many
school.
others in there, and then we could put the uncensored versions of the Boca Brian stuff that have the full words. We could make a great new CD of that for the new year. It doesn't have to be done the time we used to. We can do it any time. There's no limitation, right?
Whenever you want.
I mean, you know, just the fact that every day could be the last on this station, who the hell knows? But it's something we can at least think about or talk about, pretending that we're going to do something good.
Let's do it.
Yeah, let's do it. Raise some money for Abandoned Pet Rescue, okay?
Okay.
832 votes. What scares you the most about another 4 years of George W. Bush? Loss of freedoms, 303. Supreme Court appointments, 248. More wars, 125. Iran, Syria, North Korea, Costa Rica, right? Nothing. Denmark, nothing, it'll be fine. 995, 11.5% of this crowd say, oh, don't worry about 4 more years of Bush, it'll be fine. Oh, yeah. It'll be fine for me because I won't be there. The draft 47 and terrorist attacks, 14.
Oh, my God.
I'm worried about more terrorist attacks with this crowd in there. Crowd of lunatic fanatics that are stirring the pot and stirring everybody up all over the world. You know what we didn't play one more time today? Oh, thank God. I remember. Well said, Sally. Okay, we got the Mad Dog next to Humper at 4. We got Gildy at Smoky Bones in Plantation at 7. Eddie K at 10 o'clock tonight. Don't forget, tomorrow's going to be D-Day. We'll lay the cards on the table.
Yeah, let's do it.
George can shuffle and you can deal.
Bye.
Howard Scott Show. Neil Rogers.
That's right. You shuffle and George deals. I forgot that.
WQAM. Miami, Fort Lauderdale.
The almighty Bongolio.